He passed away, I believe, the day before Yom Kippur. And the Yom Kippur services started, and I'd been watching a bunch of old Norm Macdonald videos. And as the rabbi began to speak, I started remembering Norm Macdonald punchlines, and it really went poorly for me that Yom Kippur evening.
Finally, folks, next week, Jews everywhere will be celebrating the holiday of Yom Kippur, or as non-Jews refer to it, Wednesday.
The rabbi was standing maybe 15 feet in front of me, and I was just struggling not to hysterically laugh in the middle of the most solemn day of the year. So that's going to be my Norm Macdonald memory going forward.
My family comes from Russia. They're Russian Jews.
Oh. Russian at Jews is more like it. One of the biggest anti-Semites I've ever met.
Russian away from Jews.
I had a bar mitzvah.
What?
I had a bar mitzvah, Norm.
Yeah. You did?
Yeah.
Wait, are you Jewish?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm kidding. I love the Jewish people.
Yeah. Last week on Larry King Live, Marlon Brando made the shocking statement that Hollywood is, quote, run by Jews. In response, outraged Jewish organizations made it snow in New York in April. Well, earlier this week, actor Marlon Brando met with Jewish leaders to apologize for comments he made on Larry King Live. Among them, that, quote, Hollywood is run by Jews. The Jewish leaders accepted the actor's apology and announced that Brando is now free to work again. While in England, where he spoke at Oxford University, Simpson had defended actor Marlon Brando's criticism of Hollywood Jews. Later, from his island hideaway, Brando sent O.J. a telegram which read, "You're not helping." In Cincinnati, is Cincinnati Reds owner Marge Schott an anti-Semite? Well, it is beginning to look that way. According to a report out today, on the entire Cincinnati Reds team, there is not one Jewish player. A group of Orthodox rabbis declared that other branches of Judaism are, quote, not Judaism at all, thus challenging the religious status of millions of American Jews. This week, that statement was rejected by Reform leader Rabbi Don Schonstein, who said, quote, our legitimacy as Jews flows from the richness of our Jewish lives, the strength of our Jewish communities, and most important of all, our deep and abiding belief in Jesus Christ.
Baby, won't you come by? Everything's better with you by my side. A movie and dinner tonight. Pour a couple drinks and yeah, we're feeling fine. And make them.
The setup of the joke is it's a Jew joke.
Okay.
Two Gentile businessmen meet on the street. One of them says, how's business? The other one says, great. See, he gets it. He really got it. He really liked it.
Yeah.
So the joke is about who doesn't get it. He's Jewish, he gets it.
Yeah.
You're not, you don't.
But I don't believe he got it.
Oh, yeah, he got it. He got it.
Can we find out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell Norm why that's funny.
Because it's two Jews and how's business? Great.
Well, that's just what he said.
No, it's two Gentile businessmen.
Oh, yeah, I don't
That's what's
joke.
funny about it.
Yeah,
I knew he didn't get it. I can spot fake laughs.
Does President Clinton have a bent penis? Well, according to a doctor who examined him last week, the president's genitals are, quote, completely 100% normal. It should be noted, however, that the doctor who examined him also has a bent penis. That may color his findings a little. As his last stop on the trip, the president met in Buenos Aires Thursday with Argentinian President Carlos Menem. During the meeting, Clinton asked Menem to continue with economic reform and protect democratic freedoms. Menem, in turn, asked Clinton to show him his bent penis. Tomorrow, Chinese President Jiang Zemin begins a week-long visit that could define U.S. relations with China for years to come. President Clinton plans to ask Jiang for several things, including human rights reform, trade expansion, and a Chinese herb said to have the power to straighten a bent penis. This week, an angry President Clinton demanded that Congress stop dragging its feet on something he has long championed, a medical Bill of Rights for U.S. citizens. In all, there are 10 items in the President's Bill of Rights, running from number 1, a rich, satisfying sex life is the foundation of good health, to number 10, a straight penis is not a privilege, it is a right.
And come to think of it, I got addicted to you. Oh, no, no, no. And come to think of it, I need somebody like you. Oh, no, no, no. I need someone like you.
To know one thing before you go today. I know there are other questions, but you say that you there were distinguishing characteristics on the president's private parts. For America, please tell us what that is. We've got to know.
Well, it was like that.
Oh, God.
It was.
Return. Okay, that was it. Thank you. Well,
this man began his television stand-up debut with us 25 years ago.
Didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Very talented actor. Nobody funnier. Ladies and gentlemen, Norm Macdonald. Do you watch your own show?
No, sir.
Well, you have, I've talked to people, I've watched it, and I've talked to other people who find it compelling. You can't take your eyes off. So
well,
there,
imagine if
whatever
you
it is you're making up, whatever qualities you're fabricating here, you yourself possess them.
But imagine if you were doing it. And you
well, imagine if you were doing it.
Well,
we always worry a little about you because we regard you as the top of the heap, the best of the best, the funniest of the funny, the guy who has it in every fiber of his being, not conjured. It's the real thing. So you do it.
I just want to write. I just want to write books. But But I'd like to watch you with a big desk.
I'm tired of talking, Mark.
Okay, now it's going to turn into Norm's show.
So you're the one who saw that.
I had to watch it.
I love Norm. God, geez. I don't know what happened to that show. I remember saying to Ted Sarandos, after all of Norm's shows had been produced, I said, boy, I think you guys really got something here. Apparently not. But I loved it. The element that I always admired was the connection to the audience. And his asides and his looks and his pauses were interpreted exactly the way he knew they would be interpreted. Mm-hmm. And that fueled the ridiculous nature of some of the presentation. And without that audience, you don't get the full measure of Norm.
Right.
It was like the audience was his partner. Everybody was in this together. I can remember reading his autobiography and enjoying it, but being greatly disappointed about 10 pages in when I realized it was all fantasy. I want to know about Norm's life, but this was other solar system.
Something in him that's unbelievably fearless.
What you're describing there, when I would watch those segments, they were delightful. There was something more exciting and interesting about the silence and Norm's joy at having landed the dud.
And holding a smile.
It was thrilling. It was heroic.
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. Oh, I wish that you would come around. No.
But I wonder if people, like you say, you don't like people who are not hardworking. I wonder, are there people who worked as hard as Steve did and does?
I was thinking when I said it that there's an exception. I know we're both admirers of Norm Macdonald, and he seems sometimes like someone who has something. It's his cadence. It's the way he talks. I don't know if he's a hardworking comic, but God, he makes me laugh. And his cadence, something is just wrong about it, you know?
But I love Norm, and my guess is, what I know of Norm is that he may not be working hard.
No.
But what he has is the same result as somebody who's worked hard.
Yes, yeah.
Which is, again, enviable, admirable. But God, he makes me laugh. And I happened across some of his time on Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you watch it now, you realize Norm just didn't care if it got a laugh.
No. And he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't care. And he had a joke. I think Downey wrote the joke. It was during the OJ trial. And there's a picture of Johnny Cochran holding up the knit cap with OJ sitting next to him. And God, no one could do this but Norm. Norm said, a little bit of a wrinkle for OJ in the trial today. Johnny Cochran stood up and held the knit cap that was found at the scene of the double murders when OJ jumped up and said, hey, careful with that. That's my lucky stabbing cap. Who else could do that?
Right.
And he doesn't. And if it got nothing, he would stare.
Yeah.
And tell you your problem. I thought that was one of the best. Dark but fantastic,
Right.
and also no one could do it but him.
No, that's what I was going to say. I would, if somebody had pitched that joke to me at the height of the OJ trial, I would have laughed and not done it. Would you have done that joke?
No, I would not have done that.
Yeah.
I would have been queasy and it's tragedy and it was theater of some kind, theater of the absurd.
But the delivery, the persona, and the material, it's
perfect.
Powerful. Yes.
In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat.
Would like to say a few words about his memorial.
Yeah,
David?
Norm, Dana, thank you. We went to a memorial, and I'm only bringing this up because Downey's on today, and we did an intro for him, but I just wanted to do because I just went to this thing, and it was supposed to be more of a celebration. You know, it was kind of a funeral. We never had a funeral for Norm, so it was like a good way to everyone get in the same room. I think it was called a memorial, but I thought that wasn't too catchy, and they shouldn't trademark it. It's not catchy like Toyotathon, you know what I mean? So it was supposed to be like a light-hearted thing, but those things do get heavy.
Yeah.
No matter how fun you want it to be, and no matter how much Norm would have wanted it to be light. And so we all gathered. The only interesting thing was I think they're doing some sort of documentary for Netflix because it was filmed. And that's, they wanted me to speak, and that's harder when people are filming it, as you know, because it's a serious thing and it's embarrassing. It's hard to speak anyway in front of people. And the funny part, so Conan went up, he kind of hosted it. The audience was peppered with SNL people, writers, comedians, Dave Attell, Bill Murray from SNL, Sandler, Conan, any Smigel, all these people are everywhere. So a little intimidating, but all friends. And Dana, I don't know if I told you this. So Conan speaks. He brings up Lori Joe, who's Norm's right-hand man, been with him forever. She's the greatest. She set the whole thing up. Ted Sarandos had COVID. He couldn't come. And he's the biggest fan of this whole thing. So by the time Downey spoke, and he was great. And then I went up to speak, and there's stairs going up there, and Conan goes to shake my hand. I wipe out in front of everyone on my face. I don't even do any jokes. I don't go, not funny, Norm. I didn't say anything. I just said, got up, went to the stage, did my little speech, 4 minutes, got off. And then a couple of people, Molly Shannon, a lot of people spoke, Nealon. And then we were sequestered to another room, another whole building where 6 of us watched his special. That was the interesting part.
So
he did a special,
you told me
Dana.
about that. What was it? How did his special happen, Norm?
So you know how I used to do those monologues during Corona where I'd sit at my desk? It was like that. He had a microphone in his hand, and Lori Joe was filming him, and he just said, I keep trying to do my special, but he was getting weaker, which we didn't know. and they kept shutting down theaters and they wouldn't let him go. And then he goes, I'm just going to run it once, just kind of say it out loud. And then he never got to shoot it. So they said, let's use that and kind of make a documentary. So 6 of us watched it.
Mm-hmm. So
It's
he's
very
just
weird.
in his room with Lori Joe with a mic going.
No
right.
audience,
Yeah.
no nothing.
Yeah.
Even speaking at the funeral memorial, it's very hard when there's like a dolly shot, you know, when you're talking and it's like, push in, he might cry. No, I'm not crying at this part.
That
okay,
is- that
pull
is
back,
different.
pull back.
Yeah.
It's just definitely something, you know, they filmed the Comedy Store with Bob Saget. I thought that was just odd because I think people at home don't know when you make fun of someone at something like that as a comedian, they probably think it's very mean, but it's all of us just lightheartedly making fun of Norm, also saying something sad, you know, whatever. So here we are watching the special, Dana, and very interesting. It's about almost an hour. He's got classic Norm stuff. Some's very rough, you know, where people would be offended, which is good. And some stuff just really kills. And some stuff he meanders. But, you know, he hasn't had a chance to polish it or anything. It's just, hey, I'm going to run through it. So it's not really, we were discussing that. Would this work in a crowd? Yes. But Norm has his, for what he does, it was perfect. They're going to really like it. And we talked about it, discussed about, mostly everything was just positive, of course. And excited to be a witness to that.
Did you ever get like a wave of just the surrealness of it, or a wave of like sort of, it's just so strange to see your friend, you know, knowing
I
that
definitely
he's gone.
cried.
It
I
just
definitely
seems-
cried. I didn't at the memorial, but that one, he starts talking about his mom, and you're watching a guy, and this is the last time I've seen him because I've seen him before that, but it was right before Corona. So I haven't seen him, and he looks a little different, you know, and he's a little gaunt, and then you hear him talk, and he was pretty sharp. I mean, it wasn't like, he was smoother than my special. Like, he never looked down. I'm like, does he have a set list? What is he looking at? How does he know what's coming up? There was like, no, maybe they tightened it up, but
yeah.
So definitely we're seeing, and then we talked, and then, you know, we had that Adam Sandler taping after that. So, which is coming up soon. So it was a long day. Sandler was in there too. And I just thought it was interesting. And I thought people should know we finally got to have something for Norm. We never talked about it ever. I never talked about it. And I'm glad I got to see it, but it was a little bit of a crier at times, you know.
I always like to think when someone's gone that they're still here. I kind of hear their voice in my head sometimes. And I think what they would say about everything, I don't know. I'm in denial about people being gone.
And also in the last 2 years when I haven't seen him, or a lot of people, you just think they're out there. You just don't see them. You know, like you'll run into them. And with Norm, you're just thinking if Norm was alive, he wouldn't want to be here because it's an odd situation, and it's hard to be at those things. And
Feelings flowing up and down, picking up the pieces that you left behind, hitting a new type of flow, breathing in the smoke and clearing up my mind. The thoughts of you, I never knew what the hell you got me into.
Here, you read one.
All right. No.
You don't like that
No,
one?
I mean,
either?
I like it. It just.
Do you understand that we're on the air?
Yeah.
Oh, right. We all know that the Swiss are officially neutral.
Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Who wrote this?
Well, that screwed up my timing.
Who wrote this?
We don't have a name on
Do you have writers?
It's anonymous.
Well,
It's
I
like
think-
an old, I didn't
I don't
write
wanna
it.
say.
I didn't write that one. We all know the Swiss are officially neutral. Unofficially, however, they're filthy sons of bitches. Now the Swiss think I hate them.
What about this?
Go ahead.
Read this one.
I can prove God exists if I can just find that damn receipt from our brunch in heaven.
That is so funny. That is so funny. Did you write this?
I didn't write that one. No, I
Read
didn't
that
write-
one.
Call me an old softy, but I'd prefer it if you called me a distinguished gentleman with a flagging erection.
Oh.
I don't like that one.
Well, read that one.
Hey, why are you going to make me read all this? Alfred the Great may well be the greatest monarch
Can you
in the
do
history
me a
of...
favor? Can you find out what the traffic is like on the Santa Monica? Going to the dentist.
You'll like this one, Super Dave.
Deep
Hey,
throat.
can I tell you something? This is a bad segment. Oh, yeah, it is. You know it is. You know it is. When you come to goodnight, he says, goodnight. I really enjoyed doing this show. I had a great time, and I'll see you next week.
That's a good idea.
These jokes
not
are
a bad
so
idea.
they're not even they're so beyond insulting the awful that it's not a segment. Can we start this segment over without the
No,
joke?
it's live.
Yeah, it is
We're
live.
live on podcast?
This is live.
Holy cow.
Listen to this joke because
Well, yeah, I
think
just wanted to say,
this
no,
is
this
right
isn't-
up his alley.
Yeah, this is just in the.
He might not remember this guy though.
No, you'll probably remember. Deep throat porn legend Harry
he's
Reeves.
dead.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
died. But how are
You
they
know
going to
who
close
that
that
is?
casket? I mean, because probably because of his erection, I would think.
How are they going to close that casket? That isn't very good, is it?
I didn't write that one.
Plus, a man died.
Yeah, a
Guy
guy died.
died. How are they going to do it?
He was a real pioneer.
Make Super Dave laugh.
Super Dave, I just wanted to tell you, Alfred the Great may well be the greatest monarch in the history of England. The worst, Richard the Goat F***er.
I don't think he's gonna laugh. It's like
No,
watching.
I think he's close. Hold on. I think he's close.
It's like watching that golf ball on the edge.
I don't understand. I don't understand any of these. I don't even understand that they're how you could take a segment to end your first show when these ratings are so important. And you've I mean people at home, that guy who's wanted to know how to become a comic.
Who, JP?
No, the
guy who wanted to
Oh,
know
from
how
the
to
writer.
become
Yeah,
a
yeah,
comic.
right.
How can you tell him how to become a comic when you're reading that? Yeah. Would you read that at the Comedy Store?
No, I'm ashamed.
I don't think you would you? What's your best
But
joke?
he's not
Do
a-
it right now. We're going to close the show on your
Well,
best joke.
I'm not a comic.
Do
You
it.
are. You've done
Do it.
You've done stand-up comedy.
No, I didn't write
Do it.
jokes. I really didn't write jokes.
But you've done stand-up comedy.
What is
Yeah,
your,
that's why I don't do it anymore.
Will you talk to him after the show? Because you've got to
Let's go
get this. There's
out
got to
over
be.
a
It's got to
drink.
be more fluid when you talk to him. He's got to come back and.
I
forth.
know. That's what I told him before. I said yes. You've got to like say yes.
Yes,
instead
It's
of
yeah.
got to
no.
be like ping pong.
It's always no with
It's
him.
like ping pong.
I know, but with him it's always no. With him it's like you hit
Nobody
the
can't
guy,
do that.
and then
You
he
gotta-
grabs
you
the
gotta
ping
say
pong
yes,
ball
participate.
and he
What's your
throws it
best
up.
joke?
What's your best
The
joke?
problem is I don't have any jokes. I
Oh,
literally
to
have no
say
jokes.
that again. What is your best joke?
I mean, the punchline is
It's all right.
cunt is in the sink.
It's okay. That's the joke.
That's all I know. That's all I got.
You just wrecked.
The latest
Adam Egan telling a joke.
The latest Archie comic shows gay character Kevin kissing his boyfriend Devin. Another barrier will be broken next month when, in a dream sequence, Jughead will be show fisting Betty Crocker.
God damn, you're illiterate.
It's a show fit. No. Oh, you're right.
Will be shown. Will be
they
shown.
forgot to write the end there. Listen, whenever someone says, I have a couple irons in the fire, I think, is one of them a job writing blacksmithing metaphor? What? Why are these
I
all
don't know.
fucking...
I don't
That's
know.
funny.
But we're gonna end.
just screwed
We're gonna.
Astronomers have discovered 3 new planets that have an atmosphere conducive to human life, and they've discovered one that has an atmo conducive to hipster life.
Whatever.
I like that one.
Some of the 200 Nigerian schoolgirls kidnapped by extremists in Nigeria have been forced to marry their kidnappers. And worse than that, they've been forced to laugh at their husbands' stories, even after hearing them for the umpteenth time.
You know something?
Yeah, I know.
It's
but
very
we don't have
hard to make a joke about those girls who
I
are kidnapped.
know.
When I hear about those things, that is one of the
terrible.
worst. You know,
And yet you got a big laugh.
George Clooney's engaged. The rich and handsome 53-year-old told reporters, "It's time for me to settle down and start officially cheating on a heartsick and disillusioned spouse."
I don't hear any laughter.
Well,
I love George Clooney so much that he can do no wrong. He's just one of the good.
I can do a lot of wrong.
He's just one of the good human beings in the world.
A good name for a dog is Syndrome. That then when he tries to attack someone, you can yell Down Syndrome.
Don't laugh.
It's not.
I apologize.
I mean, it's yeah.
That's like
It was a little insensitive, I guess. In England, a woman was arrested for throwing a birthday party for her 16-year-old son that included marijuana, alcohol, and strippers. Now she's got even bigger problems. What to do for his 17th birthday?
Whatever.
There's going to be a Broadway musical based on the movie Rocky. I don't know if you guys heard about this. In the Broadway musical version of the show, after Rocky climbs the steps of the art museum. He goes inside and spends 2 hours looking at paintings.
Yeah, I know. God damn.
Goes inside and looks at what? Paintings?
He looks at paintings.
I like
for
that.
2
That's a good one.
hours. 2 women accused of using sorcery have been beheaded in a remote village in Papua New Guinea. A team of police rushed to the scene but were forced to stand by and watch the victims being decapitated with axes as locals refused to let them come to their aid. Norm, if you ever go to a remote village in Papua New Guinea, at all costs, avoid using sorcery.
I didn't understand any of that.
Maybe you'll have me
Everyone
back.
stopped listening like 3 minutes in.
Mondays aren't actually worse than any other day, according to a group of researchers who've never read a Garfield comic.
Fred?
Workers at a Harvard University library have discovered a book that's bound with human skin.
Ew.
I know,
God
it's disgusting. Anyway, they were able to determine that part of the body the skin came from after the book was grabbed by a sexy librarian and immediately expanded to 3 times its size. 3 times its size. It's like
Maybe if he didn't start
Does that
maybe-
mean it was made from a penis?
Yeah.
Oh.
Michelle Obama has booked a cameo on the ABC show Nashville. With this and her appearance on iCarly, I think Michelle's ready to start appearing in films. May I suggest my favorite film series, Black Ass F***ers? It's actually... you don't hear any more about Bob Costas' infected eye. Who is stonewalling this investigation? I'm thinking about a year I would work on my delivery, but it's just not working out. I think the joke
You don't hear
is
any more
that,
about Bob Costas' infected eye? Who's stonewalling this investigation?
He's a consummate amateur.
Yeah.
You want to do that one?
Adam?
One day in the hopefully not too distant future, North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un is going to hear a loud popping sound, the sound of his head coming out of his ass.
Adam's very kind to you. Adam is the kindest guest to you so far.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. Just in case he's still booking Tempe.
So this week I learned by Adam.
Invited back to the comedy table.
These are always fun. This week I learned, just because I masturbated to that picture of a guy falling to his death on 9/11 doesn't mean I have to share it. This week I learned you can pay your dentist with blowjobs.
Who knew that, right?
What I found out this week.
But you won't feel it because of the Novocaine.
All right, I learned 2 things this week. 2 things.
Is that easier?
This week I learned that cum tastes like nickels.
Oh.
This week. Is that true?
That cum tastes like nickels?
Yeah, that's funny. Is that what it says?
That's what it says here.
This week I learned how many gallons of sweat my Kmart hat can hold. Jesus Christ.
We'll be back with the ever funny Adam Egan.
Okay, get ready to laugh.
Why is it so different to find pornography about people in stable monogamous relationships?
Why is it so what?
Different?
Different? Difficult! Damn.
Start all over, and the joke still works.
Oh my God.
Earlier this week, Aaron Jackson of Topeka, Kansas, painted his house the colors of the Gay Pride rainbow flag in direct protest of the Westboro Baptist Church. When that didn't seem to work, Jackson fucked 3 of his best buds on his front lawn.
Homophobic.
Yeah. Well, I think it shows
earlier
solidarity.
he was racist, and now he's homophobic.
Well, I think of this. Former Tennessee Titans cheerleader Elizabeth Lee Garner, 42, is accused of pulling a 12-year-old boy's pants off and offering him oral sex. The boy refused her advances not because he was 12, but because he was a die-hard Colts fan.
This is what I have to work with, you know?
Chipotle has canceled its planned sponsorship of the Utah Boy Scout event due to the BSA's ban on gay leaders and scouts. Ironic how an all-male anti-gay organization would want to put hot, thick loads of beef and sour cream in their mouth.
Okay. We get the idea. You hate gay guys.
So I'm a guest on there, and now it's time to introduce the next guest. And she says, okay, this next guy coming out, he's a great actor. He was in risky business. He was done all kinds of stuff. I just love him. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Pantaleone. And he comes out, and as he's walking across the stage toward the desk, she goes, "Oh, I know who he is."
He said during Roseanne's
talk show.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So one time, the guest was Joe Pantaleone, and she didn't know who he was.
You f***ed it up. God damn it,
God.
mother.
You don't even have your own stories. You take other people's stories and f them up.
Know the end is day, nobody's gonna change. You won't ever leave. On my mind again, I'm still not tired of it. Can make you want me. And I might act okay, say things will stay the same. Say I'm all I need.
If you're walking down the sidewalk and there's somebody coming the other way in a wheelchair, do you have a look, or do you oh no, I'm going to act normal?
Well, I look at the guy, and I hope to God my face isn't making all kinds of twitches.
I like to hedge my bets. I don't want to ignore him, so I'll look at him, but I'll like scowl or something.
Really?
You know?
It's the same joke.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
What was your joke?
You had one joke?
No, it was
had
so
one.
ridiculous. It
What?
was stupid.
What was it?
Oh God, man!
Come on,
It was something like don't take a shot from a girl at a bar because it looks ridiculous. It's never good. I think the punchline was is this a Care Bear cum shot or something? It was really ridiculous. I don't remember it. It was so long ago, but that was the gist of it, and that's why I don't do stand up anymore.
He can't even tell his own joke.
I mean, I'm not a good, you know.
Anything.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's like...
The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes. And now, Weekend Update would like to wish a happy birthday to comic legend George Burns, who turned 100 years old today. You know, I don't know the secret to his longevity, but I think I speak for all of us when I say I hope Pauly Shore doesn't know it either. Well, a big seller this holiday season is Michael Bolton's Christmas album, This Is the Time. Happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap. Kenny G has a Christmas album out this year. Hey, happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap. Well, I don't know. This week, the chairman of the board, Frank Sinatra, turned 81 years old, and he was honored by having the Empire State Building lit in blue. Also, in Mr. Sinatra's honor, the Empire State Building had the Twin Towers rough up the Chrysler Building. Frank Sinatra turned 80 this week. Frank Sinatra. And although the singer is said to be suffering from Alzheimer's, he had a typically festive birthday, singing a duet with a hooker and having sex with Tony Bennett. Probably going to end up in Jersey with a meat hook up my ass, but it was a good joke.
Celebrating April 1st birthdays. This is a sort of news thing. Russian pianist Sergei Rachmaninoff, who was born on this day in 1872.
Yeah, I know that dude.
Rapper Method Man is 41. Debbie Reynolds turns 80 today. Rachel Maddow is 39. And former German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt would have been 95 today. April Fools, former German Chancellor Helmut Schmidt is alive and well.
In England, a woman was arrested for throwing a birthday party for her 16-year-old son that included marijuana, alcohol, and strippers. Now she's got even bigger problems. What to do for his 17th birthday.
Whatever. Kim and Kanye celebrated their baby Northwest's his name's Northwest, his 1-year birthday by throwing a big party. What's that?
It's a her.
Oh, it's a girl. Yeah, Northwest, of course. I should have known by the name.
North, yeah.
Anyway, she had her 1-year birthday, and they threw a big party with jugglers, a bouncy house, and a Ferris wheel. The bad news is that Northwest is a baby, so it doesn't know what the fuck is going on. It's like a Gilbert Godfrey joke.
Okay. Today is the 11th birthday of President Obama's youngest daughter, Sasha, or as I like to call her, the uppity one.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Jesus
I'm a regular mortal.
Super Dave Osborne on the line.
I was going to ask you to phone Super Dave. Yeah.
How's it going, Super Dave? Hey,
Happy birthday, Norm.
Is it my birthday?
It's tomorrow your birthday.
Tomorrow's your birthday. That's why I'm calling.
Super
you know what I
Dave.
got you? A picture of Sarah Palin's husband.
Oh.
And I had to make the X very big.
That's good.
Oh, no one asked you to comment what's good.
No, I
You know what makes me upset?
What?
Let me tell you what makes me upset is with all the crap that's going on in our country, OJ is not going to be able to vote. You know, McCain thinks that Obama was driving the Bronco.
Oh, he gave you a rim shot,
Yeah,
Super Dave.
that's right.
I know, that's what he does. He gives me a rib. Norm, happy birthday. You know how funny this guy is?
Yeah, I do.
He's the greatest. What's he doing in Chicago?
What are you doing in
Hey,
Chicago?
You know who's lucky or Fox? They got Philadelphia and Tampa Bay.
Philadelphia and Tampa.
That ought to be that might be right below till death do us part.
Once again, the stylings of Super Dave Osborne. Super Dave Osborne with Norm Macdonald in the studio. Norm Macdonald at Zanies. Go to Zanies.com for more information. Back to Super Dave, already in progress. Hey, are you voting for Joe the Plumber, Super Dave?
Joe the Plumber. That was the most insane. You know what? I think that McCain, I mean, first of all, he's not the same McCain I used to see. I mean, but he's a totally different man. I mean, I think he's wild. Even his wife doesn't stand too close to him now at the end. But I think there's a trigger word like banana where you get him to come right over the desk.
He did look angry.
Didn't he look angry last night? His eyes were rolling and he almost came. And what I love is when Obama's talking, he goes, yep, sure, yeah,
He
okay.
did. But I thought McCain won the debate, but everybody.
He did, but he was wild.
Yeah, it was
He
insane.
came in there, he was white. It was like like one of those fights where you beat a guy up on the ground, you know, those things.
No, he won. So you believe he did win the debate, right? I thought
Yeah,
he made Obama look uncomfortable, I thought.
Yeah, but.
Well, I was uncomfortable too. How could you not be uncomfortable?
Well, let me hear something here.
Senator Obama, I am not President Bush. I don't care about an old washed-up terrorist. If you wanted to run against President Bush, you should have run 4 years ago.
Why would he call him a washed-up terrorist?
You know what would have been funny is if when he said, do you think Sarah Palin could be president, that all of them just laughed till the debate was over?
I tell you, they should have had that music. I think Bob Schaefer, though, is the best moderator. I was saying that.
He really is, except he fell asleep once.
During it.
But yeah, he kept forcing them to answer the question.
You know that if Sarah Palin and Dan Quayle had a baby, it would be George W. Bush.
Super Dave, you gotta keep this stuff for Match Game.
Oh my God.
Match Game?
Why did you bring that?
Now, wait a minute. What are you talking about? No, tell me. Norm, tell me.
You know what? I'll tell you something, Johnny. I'm never calling you again. And Norm, I love. First of all, Norm is the funniest man in the world, and he's a great father, but he's impossible to get a hold of.
I just got a hold of him.
Yeah, but he never calls you back. You leave messages, and he never calls you back.
No, we gotta get together, though, man.
No. You always say that, and we always do, and we never do.
Hey, guess what? Guess what, Super Dave? This will pay. Now it makes perfect sense to me. I hear this about you, Norm. That Super Dave, I don't believe he's telling. I don't think he's embellishing. I think he's telling the truth.
No, I am telling the truth. Let me tell you something. How old are you going to be tomorrow?
46.
He doesn't have a driver's license.
He doesn't drive. Now,
What does that say to you?
A lot of people are like that. Actually.
Okay, no, they're not. A lot of people aren't like that.
If you're 96, What about opening the debates last night with all the crap that is going on?
Wait, let's go back to the match game. All right, now here it is. It's time now for Super Dave. This question is: Norm Macdonald does not blank. All right.
This is the way you want to play it.
No, I don't want to play. No.
This is the way we're playing.
All right, Super. Wait a minute.
This is the way we're going.
Super Dave. Super Dave. I want to agree with what you said about Norm Macdonald here in the studio. I want to tell you what I think. I heard that he has not spoken to his own brother in 5 years.
That's ridiculous. Well, sometimes you take a break.
No, wait. True or false? Have you spoken to your brother? You have two brothers, right?
Yeah.
One of them is in Canada. Both are in Canada, right?
One's in Washington. One's in Canada.
You have not spoken to your brother. Is it Neil? Is it?
What are you
Is it true or false? Is it true or false? We're talking with Norm Macdonald, actor, writer, producer, stand-up comedian. Super Dave Osborne one time said, I can never get him to return calls. His brother Neil Macdonald, who lives in a farm town in Quebec City, says he has never returned his calls in 5 years.
That's ridiculous.
Is that true, Neil?
Listen, I'm a Canadian reporter living in Washington, D.C. I'm used to not getting my calls returned.
Yeah, Neil, how you doing?
That's your brother, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Super Dave, his brother, Neil, answer the question to see if, so Super Dave will not feel bad. Neil, have you spoken to Norm, your brother, in the last 5 years?
I haven't spoken to Norm in a long time. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get your calls returned.
Wait, Super Dave. See, I always think Super Dave's kind of lying.
So Super Dave's first name is Super?
Yes.
So, like, if I called myself Great Neil, you'd have to call me.
You know, Neil, there's a reason he hasn't talked to you in 5 years. Because you bore the living crap out of him. Now, let me tell you this. The Queen of England is walking with an administrator in the hospital.
What?
I said the Queen of England is walking with an administrator in a hospital. She walks by a room, and a man is masturbating. She said, oh, my God, what's going on? He said, well, he has a problem. It's a physical problem, and if he doesn't do that 5 times a day, he could explode and die. She said, oh, I'm sorry. Then they go to the second floor, where she walks by a room, a nurse is giving a man oral sex. She says, oh, my God, what's wrong? He said he's got the same problem as the guy on one, but better insurance.
All right.
No, but if that was in Canada, the government would provide it.
See that? You know who should hook up?
Norm, wait another 5 years. I'm telling you, that's what he does. If he comes back with that Canadian crap, don't talk to him.
Now, listen, here's what I want to know. I want to know how a guy, you're 46, are you, Norm?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to know how a guy who was born 46 years ago in Quebec City and grew up in the same house I did acquired a Brooklyn accent. What the hell? Where'd that come from?
Wow.
Do I have a Brooklyn accent?
I don't know, but your brother now is dogging you. Super Dave is correct.
And I'm seeing him on Bill O'Reilly. Norman is one of the 37 Americans left who still think George Bush is doing a great job.
Wow.
I do?
No wonder you haven't talked to your brother in 5 years.
No, I think...
Someone just drop an anchor off the boat. Weren't we sailing in comedy heaven and someone came on and just dropped the Canadian
No,
anchor
I'm not a
off the side of the
professional
boat?
comedian. I'm very funny, though. I'm a very funny guy.
Well, why don't you show it? What are you waiting for? How old are you?
No, I think George Bush is terrible.
Wait, let's go here.
No, George Bush is not terrible. Terrible is one thing. George Bush has to climb up to be terrible.
Super Dave Osborne with us.
What do you want?
Norm Macdonald in the studio, and his brother Neil just joined us.
Other family members that can really make this a party?
Listen, it's great. It's great being on the same line with you there, Super. I watch you on Larry David. I think it's pretty funny.
Oh, then I like you. I take it.
Oh! Look at that. He loves him on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and now he's a fan.
Oh, I'm a big fan.
Big fan of Neil Macdonald's, are you?
I can tell you how to get
back down another 5 years.
I can tell you how to get the CBC's news show online there, Super. You can watch it on your computer. I'm sure you will.
Thank you very much. Are you a sheltered person like Norm is?
No.
But you know what? Can I say something about Norm that no one knows?
I spend all my days trying to get people to call me back here. I mean, I'm one of these ignored.
Quiet down, Neil. I'm talking.
Super Dave is talking.
Great father.
No, Super Dave is yelling.
I'm telling you that. Well, how else am I going to make my point? Norm is a great father. I don't know if you know that. I'm serious.
I do. And Dylan's a great boy. He looks a lot like Norm did when he was young. That same sort of angelic blonde thing going there, you know.
Okay, take over the show and I'll quiet down. Let's see what happens.
Just a second once.
See if Johnny,
Yeah,
see
go
if
ahead.
Johnny loses the call letters totally.
No, but super.
What?
Neil actually lives in Washington. He doesn't live in Canada.
I'm going to Canada in 2 weeks.
But he lives in Washington.
I haven't lived in Canada for 10 years.
Why do you live in Washington?
Because I'm a foreign correspondent for Canadian television.
Oh, that's a good job.
Yeah, Norm, that is right, Super Div. It is a good job.
I said it's a good job.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
You didn't mean it.
I did mean it. You know, no one asked you to interpret for me.
I'm just kidding.
This
I'm
is
hurt.
not the match game, my friend.
The match game with Super Dave Osborne. The match game. Neil Macdonald, Washington, D.C. Norm's older brother is a blank.
Hey, Norm, why don't you call me back?
Is a blank. Super Dave, he is a blank.
Norm, why don't you call? Hey, Berta says happy birthday too. Why don't you call me back?
Oh, give my love to Berta, man. We'll go eat.
Yeah, let's go eat.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll talk about your brother.
Yeah, Super Dave said he's going to go eat with me like 90 years ago. I've never even met him.
Oh, no kidding. He always says that. That's his line. That's Super's line.
No, it is
Let's
fair.
go eat, and
Yeah.
then you never get a dinner. You're like Red Buttons, you know?
Yeah, that's right. And Red Buttons is dead, Norm.
You're like
Red Buttons was waiting for Super to vote.
Right.
And I never got a dinner.
You know what's funny?
What?
It's not funny. It's not funny.
I'm hurting and I'm angry.
Americans
No, but this is
are hurting
not funny.
right
We're
now, and
hurting.
they're angry. They're hurting and they're angry.
We're hurting.
They're angry.
We're angry.
They're hurting.
I'm hurting.
Americans, all right.
I'm hurting.
They're angry.
And I'm angry. We are. We're all hurting and we're angry by all of this.
You know, Norm and I were going to do a radio show,
That's right.
but then Neil wouldn't be a part of it, so we said no.
Neil, why don't you help those guys out with their radio show? Norm, Super Dave, and Neil Macdonald.
Yeah, that's just what they need.
They do. Hey, listen, do you want to say happy birthday to your brother here?
Yeah,
You know, Neil sounds like a good guy. How come you never call him?
Yeah, why don't you ever call your brother? Norm, it's terrible. That's terrible.
No, I'm going to start texting.
No, what?
You do that.
Wait.
I hate that so much.
I
He
want to
doesn't
be
have a
clear.
cell phone. He doesn't have a cell phone. That's nonsense.
You hate texting?
I hate texting. I hate it. I
Hey.
hate people walking around staring at their hand.
Welcome to the 21st century,
It is,
buddy.
It is.
Yeah, come
I
on.
love texting.
Yeah.
You know why?
Texting?
It's
Are you
very
kidding?
quick. Right to the point. Get to the point.
What's wrong with talking?
That's too much trouble. Too much trouble. Norm, wait a minute. You don't have a computer, do you? Or you don't drive a car?
No, I don't.
You don't have a computer?
I have a computer, but I don't.
Say happy birthday to Norm now.
Happy birthday. Berta says happy birthday. Teddy says happy birthday. And Lori Joe says happy birthday. And we hope to see you soon, but we know we won't because we'll call and you won't return our call.
You better return his
What-
call, Norm.
Yeah, why don't we have go to dinner?
Yeah.
But that's what I say, and then all I get is that stupid.
You like steak?
Leave a message.
How about you like steak, right?
Yeah, well, where do you want to go?
Houston's?
Let's do it.
Go to Houston's in Century City Plaza.
Yeah, you know that Houston?
Sure. Yeah, that's where you go.
Did you hear what Johnny B just said?
That's exactly where we're going.
That's when you got to go. To go to the one in Century City
No,
Plaza.
that's where we've gone before. That's why I'm so amazed that you said that. Whenever me and Super Dave get together, we get together at the Century City.
That's where we go.
But are you amazed that Johnny B just said that?
No, Johnny B never, he does things that amaze me all the time.
Do you know?
I wish he was back on the air.
Hey, Super, because they have great food at that
Oh,
Houston's.
my God, yeah.
That's good food.
Artichoke dip.
Artichoke dip. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Super, when you guys go, can I go with you guys?
You know how much fun that would be?
Oh man, but Neil's got to come though. Really?
Neil will wait on us.
Neil?
How would you like to have Neil as your waiter? I'll have steak. I wouldn't.
I'll have steak. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Oh God! All right, Super Dave Osborne and Norm Macdonald appearing
Happy
at
birthday,
Houston's.
And Norm, wish Neil a happy birthday if he has one. Okay.
Wait.
Kenny G has a Christmas album out this year. Hey, happy birthday, Jesus. Hope you like crap. we see the president and the first bitch. Hey, slow down, you bitch. Let me catch up. Here we see President Clinton looking for something, anything, to hug besides his wife. This week in South Africa, Winnie Mandela was removed from the new government by her husband, President Nelson Mandela. A curious Bill Clinton later called Mr. Mandela to find out how exactly you go about doing something like that. Gosh, Hillary looks pretty in this photo here, doesn't she? Never realized she was such a looker till I see her here in this picture. A frightening moment this week for First Lady Hillary Clinton. Her plane, en route to the former Soviet Union, was forced to make an emergency landing when it was discovered that a frayed wire in the engine was causing serious malfunctions. The president was said to be furious and demanded an immediate investigation of what went wrong with Operation Frayed Wire. First Lady Hillary Clinton has been out of the country this week visiting the remote region of Siberia. Said the president, quote, when the cat's away, the mice... Oh, who am I kidding? The mouse screws plenty of women even when the cat's right here. At the White House this week, President Clinton officially came out against same-sex marriages. What's more, the president said he is not too crazy about opposite-sex marriages either. Astronaut Shannon Lucid, back on Earth after a record 6 months in space, was welcomed home Tuesday with a phone call from President Clinton. Said the president, quote, this is just the beginning. One day we'll be able to send an American into space indefinitely, and I hope it's a woman. Speaking in Australia this week about the problems of being America's First Lady, Hillary Clinton joked, quote, perhaps I'll walk around with a bag over my head when I come out into public and have no opinions and never express them publicly or privately. To which the president replied, yes, yes, oh God, yes. As new questions arise about Hillary Clinton's role in Whitewater, the president appears to be distancing himself from the First Lady. Earlier today in his weekly radio address, the president insisted, hey, I sleep with hundreds of girls. I can't vouch for all of them, you know? Though more indictments are likely in the Whitewater investigation, President Clinton is still refusing to say whether he will pardon former Whitewater associates Jim and Susan McDougal. But when asked if he would pardon First Lady Hillary Clinton, the president was crystal clear, quote, she does the crime, she does the time. Court documents made public this week, independent counsel Kenneth Starr told a federal judge that Hillary Clinton is now a, quote, central figure in the Whitewater criminal probe. Reacting to the news, President Clinton called the investigation a partisan witch hunt, vowing, quote, if the First Lady is somehow convicted and has to go to jail, I will do everything in my power to wait 2 weeks to start dating. With growing indications that First Lady Hillary Clinton may be indicted for her role in Whitewater, President Clinton is reportedly starting to prepare for that possibility. Plans so far include renting a hall, hiring a band, and making a giant bathtub with margaritas. In a unanimous verdict this week, a Santa Monica jury found O.J. Simpson liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, awarding the plaintiffs damages of $8.5 million. Reacting to the verdict, Simpson insisted that he has nowhere near that amount of money and that his only remaining asset is 30 pairs of Brunei Mali shoes. The announcement of the verdict came toward the end of President Clinton's annual State of the Union address, and to many observers, completely overshadowed the event. Even the president was distracted during his speech, waiting to hear exactly how much it costs to kill your wife. Well, more O.J. Simpson news. On Friday, the Juice officially endorsed Bill Clinton for president, adding, quote, "I'd like to help him any way I can." To which the president replied, "Well, there is one thing." An American President, Rob Reiner's new film starring Michael Douglas and Annette Bening, opened in theaters last week. Here with his review is Update movie critic and 42nd President of these United States, Bill Clinton.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you all.
And what did you like best about the movie?
The dead wife.
Independence Day, the science fiction fantasy starring Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, and Will Smith, was not only last summer's biggest box office hit, it was a national phenomenon. Here with his review is Update movie critic and 42nd President of these United States, Bill Clinton.
Thank you. Norm, I think it deals with some of the most fundamental questions of existence. Is there intelligent life out there? Is it friendly? If not, what if it came to Earth and killed the president's wife?
I guess I never thought about that, Mr. President.
I have. Every day of my life.
Last week, the president vetoed a Republican bill to balance the budget, and he used a pen that belonged to former President Lyndon Johnson. Clinton has also been working his way through John F. Kennedy's vast supply of condoms. Well, more bad news for Bill Clinton. This week, an appellate court ruled that Paula Jones can proceed with her sexual harassment suit against the president. Jones' suit is based on a 1991 hotel room encounter during which she alleges that then-Governor Clinton dropped his pants and exposed himself. She is seeking $700,000 in damages, $100,000 for trauma after seeing the governor's penis, and $300,000 for each thigh. Well, Chelsea Clinton turned 16 a few weeks ago, and apparently her father has been teaching her to drive. Early reports say that under the president's tutelage, the first daughter has become exceptionally good at cruising for chicks. A Connecticut hotel where Bill Clinton spent the night has donated to a charity auction a bagel the president ordered from room service but never ate. Though potential bidders should be advised, while the president never actually ate the bagel, he did have, quote, relations with it. Sounds delicious. This week, President Clinton made history when he nominated Madeleine Albright to be first female Secretary of State. Responding to critics who say that she is not the best choice, the president insisted, quote, "She looks a lot better after a couple of drinks." This week, in arguments before the Supreme Court, lawyers for President Clinton asked that the sexual harassment suit brought by Paula Jones be delayed until he leaves office. According to Clinton's attorney, quote, "If the president were hauled into court every time some nut accused him of sexual harassment, he'd have no time to scare up tail." He likes scaring up the tail. Okay. More bad news for the president. This week, convicted Whitewater swindler James McDougal claimed that his ex-wife, Susan McDougal, had an affair with Clinton while he was governor of Arkansas. The president denied the charges, adding, quote, "If you really knew me, you'd know that I was always faithful to Jennifer Flowers." In a startling reversal, Kenneth Starr announced yesterday that he would not resign as Whitewater special prosecutor and that now he intends to stay on until the investigation is completed. This new development apparently did not trouble a confident President Clinton, who still plans to resume making conjugal visits to Susan McDougal. Yesterday, President Clinton underwent a 2-hour operation to repair damage to his knee, suffered in a fall while visiting in Florida at the home of professional golfer Greg Norman. Many were surprised to hear that the two were on friendly terms, since Greg Norman had once threatened that if he ever caught Clinton with his wife again, he'd smash his kneecap with a 5-iron. The White House says that surviving relatives of those who died in a 40-year-old federal study which allowed men infected with syphilis to go untreated will get an official apology from President Clinton. According to the president, quote, "If not for the sacrifices of these brave men, I would not be alive today." Court-martial proceedings are set to begin Tuesday against Air Force Lieutenant Kelly Flynn, the nation's first female B-52 pilot. Flynn is accused of conducting an adulterous affair with a married man, as well as having a brief fling with a second airman, and then lying about it. An Air Force prosecutor called her, quote, "a sexual predator," while her commanding officer called her a, quote, "lying sex addict." Meanwhile, President Clinton called her. Well, the White House is an empty nest this week following Chelsea Clinton's departure to begin studies at Stanford University. A wistful President Clinton says that while it's difficult to see his daughter grow up, at least now he'll feel less guilty about hitting on her friends. According to Reno, there is no evidence he misused his office to raise money, improperly allowed contributors to stay overnight at the White House, or sought contributions in exchange for political favors. You know, it's hard for me to believe this, but for Janet Reno to send this letter, I guess it must be true. The president's sleeping with her, too. It's beyond comprehension, but... On Tom Snyder this week, actor Tony Danza said he thought the recent open display of affection by lesbian couple Ellen DeGeneres and Anne Hesh in front of President Clinton was extremely disrespectful. On hearing the comment, President Clinton responded, "Someone should tell Tony Danza to shut the hell up." Meanwhile, President Clinton was in Akron, Ohio this week, presiding at a town meeting about race relations in America. The president chose Akron as the site of the meeting, partly because it is the home of the Coming Together Project, an organized effort to end racism, and partly because it is the home of Suzanne Rosenberg, an old classmate from Oxford the president still has sex with. Well, President Clinton received an early Christmas present this week, an adorable Labrador puppy. And presidential historians say that it will be good for his image. According to these scholars, in comparison to a male dog, the president's sex life will seem relatively normal. A 5-year-old child writes, "Dear Mr. President, when the Republicans are finished wasting taxpayer money on their Whitewater witch hunt, perhaps they can join you in your efforts to protect Medicare and the environment and to expand the Earned Income Tax Credit. P.S. Paula Jones was asking for it." Here's one from Elizabeth A. of Long Island, who wrote, "Dear President Clinton, Newt Gingrich is a bad, bad man." Also, Paula Jones was asking for it. The Supreme Court will begin hearing arguments over whether Paula Jones' sexual harassment suit against President Clinton may proceed. Jones, who claims that while governor of Arkansas, Clinton exposed himself to her in a hotel room, says that she can accurately and precisely describe the president's genitalia. But White House spokesman scoffed, quote, "Any woman who's worked in the state of Arkansas for the last 20 years could do that." Does President Clinton have a bent penis? Well, according to a doctor who examined him last week, the president's genitals are, quote, completely 100% normal. It should be noted, however, that the doctor who examined him also has a bent penis. That may color his findings a little. Well, as his last stop on the trip, the president met in Buenos Aires Thursday with Argentinian President Carlos Menem. During the meeting, Clinton asked Menem to continue with economic reform and protect democratic freedoms. Menem, in turn, asked Clinton to show him his bent penis. Tomorrow, Chinese President Jiang Zemin begins a week-long visit that could define U.S. relations with China for years to come. President Clinton plans to ask Jiang for several things, including human rights reform, trade expansion, and a Chinese herb said to have the power to straighten a bent penis. This week, an angry President Clinton demanded that Congress stop dragging its feet on something he has long championed, a medical Bill of Rights for U.S. citizens. In all, there are 10 items in the President's Bill of Rights, running from number 1, a rich, satisfying sex life is the foundation of good health, to number 10, a straight penis is not a privilege, it is a right. Mysterious Indonesian accused of illegally raising millions for the Democratic Party. Earlier this week, Secret Service logs showed that Mr. Wong had visited the Clinton White House more than 60 times. But on Friday, administration spokesman revealed that there are actually 2 John Wongs. Furthermore, they stressed that the John Wong who visited the White House is a different man. He isn't the fundraiser. He's the guy who killed Vince Foster. On Capitol Hill this week, 17 Republican congressmen formally asked the House Judiciary Committee whether there is sufficient evidence to begin impeachment proceedings against President Clinton. In response, the president said, quote, "Hey, you know who would have the answer to that question? Vince Foster." This weekend, veteran news anchorman David Brinkley apologized to Bill Clinton for an election night commentary in which he called the president, quote, "boring and uncreative." Admitted Brinkley, "There was certainly nothing uncreative about the way you moved Vince Foster's body." The president's a murderer. You didn't know that?
Our next guest is a very funny man, starring in his own television program entitled A Minute with Stan Hooper. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Norm Macdonald. Here he is. Good to have you back.
It's good to have you. Congratulations,
Thank you very
sir.
much. We haven't
Must
seen
be
you
very
in a-
excited.
Well, it is exciting. You know the feeling. You have a son.
I have a son. He's older. He's got to be at least 8.
Hmm?
And but when he's first born, you know, it's the most. You know this, the most exciting thing that's ever happened to
That's
me,
right.
you know?
Yes.
And I'll never forget it. And then 6 months later, I went hang gliding. Way more exciting.
Wow. All right. Well, I'll give that a try. Hang gliding, you say?
Yeah.
All right. Sure.
Puts
Might
that
as well.
whole having a baby thing right in the
Okay. Now, what's new in your life? Tell us about things that have been going on for you. What have you been up to?
Not much. I've been. It's a madhouse back there, man, with the animals and Stan Can's back there and the weightlifters.
Stan Can is back there?
He's there with the animals.
No, that's Jack Hanna.
Jack Hanna,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And what did you ask me now?
What's new in your life? How are things going? What are you
Going good, going good. I'm worried about my health, you know. I go out of the Mayo Clinic. You familiar with that?
Yeah.
Up in Rochester. And I was going to a regular doctor for a while, but these guys suck. They always want to make you feel better, you know, no
Right.
matter what. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess.
They'll take your blood pressure, and then they go, "What have I got there?" They go, 180 over 90. You go, "What's that mean?" They go, "I don't know." And then, you know, they hit your knee with a hammer.
Yeah.
You think that, you know, like from the cartoons, you know?
Yeah.
And so then they hit your knee with a hammer. You go, your knee goes up, and they go, "Excellent." It's exactly how your knee should respond when struck by a hammer.
So you're saying you didn't feel like you're getting a thorough examination?
No, and I wanted it thorough, so I thought I'd go to the Mayo Clinic, and I'll get examined by everybody, you know, everybody. I sound like Ed McMahon now. Everybody! So I go there, and I go to all the doctors, you know. I go to the throat doctor, I go to the ear doctor, I go to the nose doctor, I go to the stomach doctor, I go to the ass doctor, you know.
The ass doctor? The ass doctor?
I'll tell you something, man, that's the most important doctor. I don't know. At first, I was a little suspicious because I know that in medical school there comes a time when you have to pick your specialty.
All right, stop it. Stop it.
But
Stop
anyways, yeah, no, the ass doctor is very important, quite seriously.
Yeah, oh, no,
because a lot of, and you know, you're very nervous about that examination,
Yes,
you know, because you know you don't want it to be painful and you know want it to be enjoyable, you know. But
that's true.
But anyway, so I went to every guy, you know, and every doctor, and I do a thing. I have a little trick with the doctors. I tell them symptoms I don't have, so I get a thorough examination.
That's right.
So I go to the throat doctor, I go, my throat hurts all the time, a constant pain in my throat. The guy's like, good Lord. So he gives me a real thorough, and then the stomach doctor, you know? And then he checks out my stuff, so real thorough, you know? I don't want to talk about the ass doctor, but I go through all the doctors, you know, and I'm wheezing and coughing, and so then I get the thorough examination.
Right. And how did it turn out?
Clean bill of health.
Oh, congratulations.
Absolutely.
That must be a huge peace of mind for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it gives you. It gives you peace of mind, you know, for a while. Because doctors really, you know, they can't, that's all they can do is give you not bad news. You know, they can only tell you you have nothing. They never give you good, it's never like the doctor will come out and go, good news, the blood test came back, you're immortal.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, they just tell you, oh, you got nothing yet.
Yeah.
Keep coming back and I'll give you this piece of news that'll shatter your life. But, so anyways, about 6 months later, I decided I'll get me some life insurance because I have my kid that's, he's got to be at least 6. And I go, I'll get some life insurance because this is irresponsible of me not to have life insurance. Yeah. So I apply for life insurance. Every life insurance company turns me down.
Why?
And then I go, holy Lord, something's wrong with me. Because maybe Mayo Clinic lost a file or something.
Switch the records?
Switch the records often happens.
No, I don't think at the Mayo Clinic that often happens.
No, not at the Mayo Clinic.
No.
But at the lesser.
The lesser clinics.
So anyways, I find out that the insurance company is privy to all the doctor's notes and everything.
Oh.
So that they have me like with severe abdominal pains and a sore throat, you know, rectal bleeding.
Well, of course we're not going to insure you with that.
No.
So your little scheme backfired.
Yeah, I had to get one of the Ed McMahon insurance things. You get like $1 million insurance and you end up paying $500,000 a year for it.
What have you been out doing stand-up? I know you're probably really busy with the show, but do you ever get to go out and do gigs?
Oh no, yeah, I've been off show business for a while, and I do the smoky nightclubs, you know. And recently I was at a place, and a dude said, "Hey, would you mind going to this hospital, you know, to entertain, you know?" The orderlies and the people in the hospital. I thought that'd be a nice thing to do, you know, because I don't do a great deal of nice things. So, no, I do. I'm a very nice guy.
I know. We've read all about you.
So I go to the hospital, you know, and I'm driving to the hospital. The guy's driving me. I don't know how to drive, and I'm all happy.
I'm sorry. Wait a minute. You say you don't know how to drive?
I don't know yet, but I will. I'll learn. As my child approaches his 13th birthday, I feel I should soon.
Yeah.
So I go to the hospital, and the guy Sid Youngers that books this gig, he tells me, you know, you just talk to you entertain for the orderlies and the staff and the patients, you know. And I get there, so the guy's driving me there, and looking for the hospital and everything, and we're getting close to the hospital, and all of a sudden I see like some barbed wire. Right? And there's guards and everything. And there's a big giant sign that says, State Hospital for the Criminally Insane. So now I'm being frisked and ID and everything, and I get in, and now I'm going, I don't even know if these people deserve a show, you know.
Well, if you can brighten anyone's day, I think it's a nice thing.
Yeah, but I don't want to brighten the day of somebody who slaughtered their family last week.
No, that's,
So I get in there, you know, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll do it. I'm committed to doing it. I go, well, where do I perform? Like a cafeteria or something? Guy's like, no, we got a theater.
Oh, theater.
A big theater in the state hospital for the criminally insane. So I go in there. They go, the Statler brothers were here. So I go, all right. So I go in there, you know, and it's a beautiful theater, you know, and it fits like 1,000 people. And there's like 40 criminally insane guys in there. And I don't even know. I don't know what the rest of them are doing. And so I go, and then the guy introduces me, you know, and and he had like an old bio of me or something, I think. And but it was ridiculous introducing me to these guys.
Right.
And it was like, ladies and gentlemen, you know him from Evening at the Improv and George Schlotter's Comedy Club and all this. Norm Macdonald, you know, and there's nothing. They're all muttering criminally insane things to each other. And so I'm walking. I've never had this. I'm walking toward the mic, and I start getting heckled. Like before I'm.
You're not even on stage.
Yeah, I'm like 15 feet from the mic, and I hear, "Nice shoes, bitch."
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
So I go up, and then just all kinds of insane things. One guy goes, "Where's the Statler brothers?" And then the other guy's like, "Yeah, what is with those shoes, bitch?" And I'm not even at the mic. I didn't even get to the mic yet. So I get there, and then as soon as I start talking, I start with my answering machine bit, you know? And you know that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, anyone have an answering machine? And they're like, go home! Go home! They keep yelling.
Yeah.
So I just had it, and I said to them, I said, well, that's the beauty of it. I can.
And then you hit the road. A Minute with Stan Hooper, Wednesdays at 8:30 at Fox. Norm, a pleasure to see you again. Thank you very much for being here. Norm Macdonald. We'll be right back with Jack Hanna, everybody. Our next guest is a very funny man who has a brand new comedy album right here entitled Ridiculous. It's in stores now. Here's the always entertaining Norm Macdonald. Norm, you look great.
I do, yeah. I mean, you do too.
Well, thank you very much. We haven't seen you in a while, and you look like you're really in shape. Are you taking care of yourself? You working out? What's going on here?
Me? I'm all right. My cholesterol was, I had problems with my cholesterol.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to my doctor last year, and I got my cholesterol checked, right? And then I came back again this year, and he's like, how are you doing with that cholesterol?
Mm-hmm.
And I go, I'm not doing anything. And he goes, well, I'm looking at your file here, and last year it showed that your cholesterol is alarmingly high.
Oh, my.
So I go, well, you didn't tell me that. And he said, yo, I told you that. And I go, no, I would remember that phrase, alarmingly high, you know? So he says, well, let's do it again, you know? And I go, well, all I've been doing is eating cake and, swallowing, chugging half and half. So I go, I know that the test...
Chugging half and
I know
half.
the test will come back, and it will be whatever the word is that's worse than alarmingly high.
Right.
You know? So I was so scared, you know? So it comes back, and it's really off the charts, you know? And I'm like, geez, man, are you going to have to do a Letterman on me there, you know? And he goes, so he goes... Because I don't like that stuff. And he goes, no, we haven't reached that level yet. You know, your cholesterol's high. You can lower it, but he goes, I have to warn you, you have to lower it, or we're going to have to do a Letterman on you.
Yeah, seriously.
So I said, okay, you know, and I went on this incredible, I did it myself. I just checked the www computer, and I found out all the things. And in 10 weeks, my cardiologist was like stunned.
Yeah.
She's worked in the field for 26 years and never seen it. But anyways, from 296 to 120.
Whoa! Wow.
But the only bad thing is they have bad cholesterol, good cholesterol. One of the cholesterols didn't change, and my cardiologist explained to me that cholesterol will only be changed by exercise. So I was like, geez, you know. So, because I'm really good at not doing things, like not eating stuff, but I'm bad at going out and doing stuff. And so I got a trainer, and it was all, not good.
Tough.
Yeah, man alive. Holy crow.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's paid off.
It does?
Yeah. What kind of stuff was the trainer doing with you?
He was, these guys are like superhuman. They look like Dash Riprock, you know, from earlier, you know. They're like superhuman beings, you know. So they think you can do what they can do, you know.
Right.
And I've told the guy, $50 an hour. I said, look, don't try to earn your money or anything like that, you know. Like, all I want to do is get my cholesterol down. I don't care to have a vein in my arm.
Yeah.
And, you know, no use for abs. I just want to not die. So, but he's like, I know what you can take. I know what you can handle, you know? And I'm like, all right, you know? So he's got me doing them bench presses, and then he'd do this trick, like he'd go, okay, we're going to do 15, you know? And he'd go, 5 more, 3, 4 more, 3 more, 2 more, 1, and 10 more. And I go, what the God? Why didn't you say 25 in the first place, you know? So anyways, I'm in the gym there, and we're doing the things, and over in the corner, a fracas happens, a little thing. What happened over there? And it turned out, guy had a heart attack. And they took him away. I'm like, what the hell? He's like, yeah, man, I hope they don't have to do a Letterman on that guy, you know?
All right, Norm, stay right there. We'll be right back with Norm Macdonald, everybody. Now you,
hey,
Bill. You did some traveling, I guess, since we last saw you. Were in.
Yeah, I did. I'd never been overseas, and I went to Amsterdam. My dad was in World War II. He was a lot older than I. Well, obviously, he was older than I was. He had me when he was an older fella, and he served in World War II, and he liberated Holland, you know, from the icy grip of that dork Hitler, you know. Yeah. So. And, you know, with Hitler, the more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for him. I can't... Yeah. And there's nothing redeeming about the guy. I tell the guys, I go, how on earth could these Germans, like, follow this lunatic, you know? And they're like, oh, he was an incredible public speaker, you know? He could hypnotize you with his public speaking. And then I see him, he's like, strangely. And I go, what? That's not my idea of a silver-tongued devil, you know? So anyways, that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is my dad went over and he liberated Holland. I'll tell you something about the Dutch. They don't forget, you know. My dad, a dirt poor farmer, you know, couldn't be poor, went over to Holland, liberated the country, and they never forgot. Every 5 years he would go and they would throw pedals, you know, and it was fantastic.
Still grateful. The Dutch were still grateful for what the Canadians had done.
So I went over.
He was in the Canadian Army, right?
Yeah, well, mostly it was my dad, but...
Yeah.
No, I used my dad as a surrogate for the entire Canadian Army. Right. But, so I went over because my dad's dead. And so I said, it'd be great to see, you know. And so I went to Holland, went to Amsterdam, and oh my Lord. At first, you know, it's a picturesque place. People are driving around on their bicycles over cobblestone streets with canals. It's beautiful, windmills, and it looks, but then the whole country's gone to hell in a handbasket. You would not believe this. You can do drugs legally.
Really?
Legally. They have a place called coffee shops, right? So I went into one. I said, hey, man, I enjoy coffee, but can I have a coffee? They're like, we don't have coffee. It's a coffee shop. They go, we got drugs. So I'm like, I don't want drugs. That's wrong. What the hell are you talking about, you know? And then prostitutes. They have prostitutes in the window. You can walk along, and there's prostitutes in the window that you can go and have illegal sex. It's legal there, and it's all ass over tea kettle wrong, you know? And so then I had a whole different view of the place of just these, you know, crazy people.
Just not right.
So anyways, one night I was going back to my hotel, and I'm going back to my hotel, and I can't find my hotel because everything's in, you know, they're all foreigners, so it's all different language, hard to find streets and stuff. So I was walking around forever. Finally, I see my hotel, you know, and I get there, and there's a red light, you know. And have you ever been to those places where, not a red light like a red light district,
A traffic light.
a stoplight that was red, and you know when the red never changes? Yes. You ever been in that experience? So I'm standing there, and the red, a minute goes by, 2 minutes go by, 3 minutes go by, whatever minutes go by, and it never changes, and there's no traffic at all. So finally I go, I'll just walk across the red light, right? Yeah. What harm can be done? Walk across the red light, immediately a police officer comes riding a bicycle. So then this guy, you know, he's like, you know, talking with his foreign thing, and so he writes me a ticket, you know. I go, are you kidding me? Your whole country's a bunch of drug-smoking prostitute people, you know?
This doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense. And also, if it wasn't for my dad, then that guy wouldn't get to have the freedom to drive his fruity bicycle anyway, you know?
That's right.
Yeah, he'd be living in a country where a guy was going, frankly.
I'm glad you're back, Norm.
Thank you, David.
So here's the new CD, Ridiculous, in stores now. Norm, always a pleasure. Come back
it's great
again
to
soon.
be back.
Thank you very much. Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back, everybody. Very funny. Our next guest, here's a guy. He comes out and he's just funny. That's all this guy.
I love this
is.
guy.
I mean, charming, sure. Personable, sure. His hygiene,
maybe.
But moreover, all he really is funny. He will be performing tomorrow and through this weekend at Caroline's, which is right across the street on Broadway. Here's the always entertaining Norm Macdonald. I'm so glad you're back, Norm. We haven't seen you in quite a while.
I
but
missed you, man.
Yeah, glad to see you. How have you been, and what have you been doing?
Oh, man, nothing compared to you. Congratulations on young Harry.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
That.
I
Nice
understand.
fellow. Yeah. You have a son also?
I have a son, yeah, a little older. He's, I want to say, he's 10 or 15.
Yeah.
The point is this. I want to give you a little advice. First of all, they get less cute.
Oh, see, yeah.
And you got to, when they're young, you got to do certain things. For instance, because you love your child more than anything, obviously. And when I was young, and I had my little boy, Dagwood.
Name is Dagwood.
I named him after the literary figure Dagwood Bumpstead.
Yeah.
Now, his name is Dylan.
Dylan,
named after Dylan Thomas,
Dylan Thomas.
because my father read me a Child's Christmas in Wales every Christmas. So when the kid's young, as Dylan was, I used to play basketball with him, and I would always let him win because I figured that was the thing to do as a father. Now he's 16 years old, and he can beat me easily.
Oh.
Now he thinks that he's always been able to beat me. I told him, I said, no, I used to let you win. He's like, no. So my advice is beat the hell out of Harry.
While I can.
While you can.
Yeah. Not sure that I can even now. Do you think about the future and taking care of him in the future? You know, because
yes, you got to keep your affairs in order just in case anything happens.
That's
you know,
right.
you got to have a will, and now you got to have the living will.
Living will.
In case you get incapacitated in life, you have to say what your wishes are
you know, and I made out a living will, and I said, whatever you do, don't pull that damn plug, because...
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what happens. As soon as you get there, you're incapacitated.
Right.
They get your relatives and your friends around. They go, hey, Norm's incapacitated. Any of you guys know? And they're like, hey, oh, yeah. I remember Norm saying he wanted to get killed. And then we don't have to visit him no more, right?
Yeah.
So I also don't have a plug. I have a series of plugs.
Really?
Because I don't want one plug.
That's
And then
right.
one of them janitors come with the wide broom, knock out my
sure.
plug. You know, my
Belt
brother's...
and suspenders.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. I'll tell you something, man. My mom said, hey, you don't want to be a burden. I'm like, good Lord, I hope I, don't want to be a burden. I'm lying there incapacitated. You know, you can't take 10 minutes out of your bridge game to come touch my hand.
I agree. I agree with you, Norm.
Yeah. But some people, in their living will, they go, no, I'd much rather not lie in this comfortable bed. Please bury me in the earth.
Well, 2 points of view on that. Yeah. Now, Norm, I remember years ago you told me that you were there for the birth of your son, and I always remember this. And you said that was the most exciting thing you had ever participated in. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Yes. And then what happened?
I took crystal meth.
Oh, no. No, you didn't.
I didn't know what you were getting
No,
at.
that's right. No, and then you said a couple of weeks later you went skydiving.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, that was what it was. Yeah. Or hang gliding. Yeah, hang gliding. And how was that compared to the birth? It was.
This was a joke I did at one point?
I have to do your act for you now? Is that what it's come to? And you said that was much more exciting than the birth.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whoops. All right, I tell you what, we'll be right back here with Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen. All right, boy, oh boy, Norm. How about Leonard Nimoy?
Oh, yeah, that was
great.
cool.
Great
cool.
to see him. It's thrilling
Cool
when
to
you see a guy like that here.
I met, in the airport, I met Matlock.
Oh, Matlock is Andy Griffin.
Yeah, Andy, he used to call himself Andy Griffin. Now he goes by Ben Matlock.
He really calls himself Ben Matlock.
But, I went into the airport, and he was in there, and you know the bookstores they have in the airports?
Yeah, sure.
So he's in there. He's reading one of them big, thick books, smart guy, So I'm standing over there. I'm leafing through a Jughead comic. I see him over there. So I think to myself, I say, hey, I'm going to sidle up beside old Ben Matlock.
Yeah.
And I'm going to grab one of them big books myself. He didn't have to know nothing.
Sure.
Pretty soon we get in a conversation. We start talking, and I find out how he ever solved that case where Claude Akins killed. You remember, anyways. Whatever. I wanted to talk to him.
Right.
So take 10 minutes. I'm talking to him. He's very friendly, very outgoing, and everything like that. And it was really nice. And all of a sudden, I realized it wasn't Ben Matlock at all.
Really? It's not Andy Griffith?
Yeah, just some old man. And now, don't you think that this guy has a moral, responsibility to tell people instantly that he's not Matlock?
I don't know. That's a good question. I never thought of that. And you're sure it wasn't him?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm certain, because he just kept yapping and yapping and whatever.
Now, congratulations. You've given up smoking.
I did. I quit smoking.
That's
yes.
great news, Norm. Were you a lifelong smoker?
Yeah. I smoke. Lifelong smoker?
Yeah, lifelong. All your life? Most of your life?
Well, of course not all my life.
I mean, did you start early?
Oh, yeah, well, one. No,
I smoked for a long time, and I smoked as much as you could. People would ask me, how many packs a day? I smoked from when I woke up to when I went to sleep, so you could not smoke more than I did. But I quit. I tried different things, but I quit. I finally quit through sheer tyranny of will.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. One guy wanted me to try hypnosis.
I've heard about that.
Yeah. And you know, it worked for him and everything like that, but I didn't want to do that on account of, I'd rather smoke, to tell you the truth, because I don't want to think of myself as that susceptible to, you know what I mean?
That you kind of soften the...
Yeah, like I don't want to go, hey, good news, I quit smoking. Bad news, I no longer have free will.
Yeah, I can see. That's a real dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I saw go ahead.
Did you ever work with a hypnotist or anything?
No, but I saw a hypnotist when I was a boy, when I was a teenager. Ravine the Impossibilist.
The Impossibilist. And you saw him in a theater? Or?
Yes, in a big theater. And I don't know if you've ever seen these shows. They bring up guys from the audience, and they talk to them, and then one guy can speak Martian, and then he touched the other guy. Ooh, he can do something else. And then a quarterback, and then another guy's a chicken. So anyways, they go, and everybody runs around. So anyways, I'll never forget, I was sitting there on the aisle with my brother, and the guy that thought he was a chicken came running by me, pecking at things, and, you know, cluck, 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 and all this. So
he was pecking at things.
So it was, you know, grain and his own feces and all sorts of things. So he exits anyways, and then after the show, I'm quite astonished by the whole thing, because I'm only a young lad, and I go out into the parking lot, and I see the guy. There's the guy that was the chicken. So I walk up to the guy, and I go, man, how'd that feel? It must have been amazing. You feel like a chicken, right? How'd that feel? And he goes, oh, it was cool.
Really?
So then I thought, I don't know. You know, because imagine if for 15 minutes you thought you were a chicken, right? Then afterwards you'd be like, and then I go, I say, how'd it feel? I act like a chicken. He go, You know, he'd have to spend the rest of his life trying to get back on track because his mind had been shattered.
Shattered? By the experience of being a chicken?
Well, of course. If you thought for 10 minutes that you were actually a chicken, would you be able to do the show the next night?
I don't. Well, I guess not.
Or would you go,
no,
that was cool?
You're exactly right. Now, Norm, we're running out of time, but I would be remiss here if I didn't bring up something. People have been bothering me about this for months and months. People come on the show and they say, the next time you see Norm Macdonald, he's got some tremendous stories about the great Bob Uecker. Now, do you have a story you can tell us about Bob Uecker? Voice of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, Bob Uecker is one of my best friends. He's a great man. I know Artie told a story when he was here, and Bob was not too thrilled with that. But
it's Artie Lang you're talking about.
Artie Lang, yeah. But Bob is a very, very funny man, and I often go in the booth with him, you know.
Oh, sure.
So one time we were there, and John Fogerty was in the audience. You know, a fortunate son, you know. So John Fogerty was there. So Bob Uecker is a very interesting guy. He thinks of everybody as the same. He doesn't think of people as stars or anything like that. He's a very down-to-earth guy. So he was talking to me, and he says, hey, man, you know that guy? I go, yeah. He goes, that's John Fogerty, rock and roll singer. So I go, yeah, I know who it is. He goes, yeah, man. He goes, but I played in a golf tournament with him. He goes, you probably think of him as some that likes to bite the heads off of chickens, but this guy can...
That's exactly how I think of him.
This guy can get it out of the sand trap like nobody's business. So he goes, he's got a hell of a set of pipes on him. He goes, come the seventh inning stretch, I'll have him up here, he'll sing for you. So I said, no, Bob, don't do that. Like, don't have him come up and sing for me, please, you know. He goes, what's matter, man? Don't you even know who he is? He got all mad. So I go, yes, Bob, I know who he is. He did Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah.
He goes, yeah, he did all that.
Oh, my God. Well, there you go. Now, listen. Yeah. Norm, right across the street on Broadway there to
Please
Caroline's.
have Bob on the show. He's the
Yeah, I would
funniest
love to
guy
get
ever.
Bob on the show. He'll be there tomorrow through May 10th. Oh, that's a nice long run for you there across the street.
Too long for my liking.
Way to sell tickets, Norm. And he'll be at the Helium Club June 18th through the 20th in Philadelphia. Gosh, I hope we see you sooner than however long it's been. Always a pleasure. It's Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Animal Collective, everybody. Our first guest is a very funny man and the star of a very funny brand new television program entitled Sports Show with Norm Macdonald, and you can see it April 12th on Comedy Central. Here he is, the always entertaining Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen. I saw that show today, Norm. Very funny.
What show? The TV show?
Yeah, your TV show.
Oh, yeah,
congratulations. And by the way, you look very youthful. And how come we haven't seen you in 2 years?
Oh, how come I haven't been here in 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I've been busy. I got a kid, you know.
I know. How old?
Well, you got a kid?
Yeah, I do.
How old's Harry?
He's 7.
Yeah, man, they grow up so slow. You know, it's barely discernible. Isn't it?
Yes, how old is your son?
He's 18. They get far less cute.
Yeah.
They're
Good
not as cute when they're out on the lawn punching you in the chest.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's good to have you here.
Oh, it's good to be here,
and,
man.
in addition to the new show, the Norm Macdonald Sports Show, you have like your was it your first stand-up special?
Yes, I did a Comedy Central special.
Great.
One of 40 they did this year on Comedy Central. And, but it was fun, but I got a weird time. They showed it at 11:30 and on Saturday, and it turned out that was during this thing called Earth Hour. I think some people know what it is.
Yeah.
On Earth Hour, you have to turn off your electricity. So,
wow. That's horrible.
And as you know, and as I know, and as they apparently know, TVs are powered by electricity.
Yeah.
So, and furthermore, my key demographic is damn dirty hippies.
Yeah.
So,
oh, man.
Well, you know, what are you going to do?
You took one on the chin there.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm very surprised and impressed about this, that you've built kind of like a Twitter following.
Yeah, so I'm an internet sensation.
Whoa. Now, I didn't take you for a guy that would know about that kind of stuff.
I know all about that stuff,
Really?
man.
When did you start Twitter?
2 weeks ago.
Really?
But this is what I did it for the Oscars. The guy told me how to do it, and I was watching the Oscars, and you know how horrible those were. And so it was pretty easy to do just jokes constantly on how horrible everyone was, you know. And you know, and some of the things were nice, like it was nice to see Kirk Douglas, of course, you know, and he had that terrible stroke, which didn't affect his comic timing at all. And but so I twittered, and I ended up twittering 190 tweets.
Whoa!
And it turns out it's way too much.
Really?
So people started telling me to stop. Anyways, get this, just earlier this happened, right before we came on the show. I walked out here. I'm in some kind of Twitter feud with Steve Martin.
I know that Steve also actively twitters.
Yeah. So this is what happened. Dig this. You know how to tweet?
No.
You don't know how to tweet?
No.
Where you been? He writes a tweet. I misunderstand it. I reply.
Well, let's hear what he says.
What he said?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is what he said. I'm not really that great at it, but he said, has anybody seen my hat? Now, I'm looked everywhere for it. I can't find my hat.
Right.
So I say, was it a brown fedora with a red hat band? But what I didn't know is he sent a twit pic.
Stop right there. Let me just say, if this is an example of Twitter communication, it's invaluable.
What do you think I should answer him? This is the last thing he said to me. He goes, this just came in 9 seconds ago. He goes, still mulling over this tweet from Norm to me. It's so enigmatic. Is it a put down?
I don't, honestly, I mean, he lost a hat, right?
Yeah.
And then you responded, is it with a red hat band?
Yeah.
I don't, none of this makes any sense.
It's a generational thing.
Oh, that's
but,
yeah. I guess so. Well, what is it?
Now, I will tell you what's cool about the internet and being an internet sensation and stuff. On the YouTube now, everybody, you know, I don't know if you remember but the famous, and did you ever hear the Andy Williams quote? In the future, everybody will be famous for 25 minutes?
Yes. I think it was Andy Warhol.
Huh?
Andy Williams was Moon River.
Oh.
Andy, it's a generational thing. Yeah, okay.
But here's the thing. Like, for instance, have you ever heard of Harrison Schmitt?
No.
Okay. He walked on the moon.
I didn't know that.
Right. An astronaut. Right. A guy who walked on the moon. There's very few people that have been in the position to go, hey, where's the moon? There it is.
Right. Well, you're right. That's a good point.
Right. Now, so 12 people have landed on the moon. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin. Who else?
Right.
So this Harrison Schmitt fella must be going, what the hell do I have to do to get famous?
Yeah.
Right? Meanwhile, the Kardashians, we know Khloe, we know...
It's awful.
Yeah, Lois.
Lois Kardashian.
All of them.
We'll be right back with Norm Macdonald, everybody. I don't know. You can tweet Steve Martin. Can you tweet him right now?
I can tweet him, yeah.
Or just tell him that I said hi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that you're on the show and we're talking about him. And
okay, awesome.
I said hi.
Awesome.
And add this. I'm sorry about the hat.
You know what's great also while I do this, I'll tell you this. The great thing about the blogosphere. Mm-hmm. Now, the great thing is this, that you have friends, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, on the computer, I have about 160,000 friends.
Whoa.
In real life, I have 2. But I actually like my friends on the blogosphere here, because this is the thing. Like they can go like in real life, right? Your friend will go, hey, my grandmother died this morning, and then you go, oh, good. Do you want to come over to my house and talk about it for 4 hours? Mm-hmm. And then on this thing, your friend can go, hey, my grandmother died today, and then you go, unfollow. Mm-hmm.
Now, Norm, do I remember that you were...
I'm talking to Steve Martin!
Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, if you just get that over to him by Labor Day, that'd be... Do you still gamble? Somebody told me that you... Did we know that?
Yeah, I used to gamble.
You don't gamble anymore?
No, I gamble anymore.
Was it a problem? Did it get to be a problem?
Yeah, it got to be a problem, man. And then I tried to do it smart. Every time I tried to do it smart, a bad thing would happen, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, one time I was trying to handicap baseball, you know, which you can actually beat baseball if you handicap it properly. So I was trying to handicap, and I figured it out for like 3 hours, and I went down to the book in Mirage, the sports book, went up to the fella, you know, and there was a guy beside me, a big fat guy, you know, and he was dressed like real rich, you know, and he opened a big attaché case filled with $10,000 chips, pulls out like $750,000. and he's going to bet on this boxer, you know, a fighter, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a 4-to-1 underdog. So I said, I'm not going to bet my baseball bet. I'll just bet on this 4-to-1 underdog, you know?
He must know something.
Yeah, because this guy must know something. He's probably in the mafia. So, so I go and watch the boxing match, Dave, and the guy, my guy that I bet on, gets knocked out in 25 seconds.
Oh, no. Whoa.
So I go back to the book. I go, what, that guy from the mafia? What? He goes, that guy's not from the mafia. He goes, that's old long shot Louis. He goes, he's a rich guy, he loves long shots.
Well, there's just no winning, is there?
No, there's no winning. Nobody ever wins.
Now, this sports show with Norm Macdonald premieres, you know, it's my birthday, April 12th.
That's your birthday?
I saw it this afternoon. Very funny show, and I think it's going to be a huge hit for
You want to hear a sports joke?
Yeah.
Oh, you like racing cars, right? Yeah. How about that Daytona 500? Yeah. How about that kid that won? Right. How old was he?
Like 20?
Yeah. He raced all around. You know why he went so fast, apparently? He was texting the whole time. It's generational.
The show premieres April 12th on Comedy Central. Sports show with Norm Macdonald. Great pleasure to see you.
It was great
I
to
hope
see you, man.
don't wait
Thank
2
you.
years to come back. We'll be back with C.C. Sabathia, ladies and gentlemen. Our first guest is one of the, this guy is actually funny. There's no two ways about it. Any way you look at it, up, down, left, right, he's funny. Wake him up in the middle of the night, he's funny. Drive cross country with him, he's funny. Fight him, sparring session, he's funny. Have him come visit you in the hospital, he's nothing but funny. He'll be at Greenwood Village, Colorado on April 24th and 25th. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Norm Macdonald. Come on, Norm. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, sir.
Case goes crazy. Oh, okay. Hey.
Have I been funny so far?
more than funny, my friend. All right. Norm,
some sort of practical joke at this point.
I haven't seen you in a while. I saw you on the Saturday Night Live 40th anniversary show.
Oh, yes.
You were great on that. And what's been going on? Bring us up to date. What's been on your mind?
I had a big pork chop for dinner, and I live in the moment. Mm-hmm. But my belly too big for the anyway. Two things struck me while I was eating dinner, Dave. One, you eat dinner at a restaurant different than you eat dinner at your home. Like, at your home, you would never say, man, I'm going to make myself a pork chop, cook it up till it's hot on one side, then turn it over, hot on the other side, cook, and then cut into it a little bit, see how it's going in the middle. But while I'm waiting for my pork chop to get nice and hot and delicious so I can eat it, first, I'll eat a big loaf of bread.
So that's at home.
Yeah,
that's
at home. Get 20 or 30 pats of butter. The other thing I noticed is dessert. Now, in the old days, dessert, the waiter would come to your table and go, what do you want for dessert, an apple pie or a cherry pie? Oh, yeah. You go, I'll have a cherry pie. Sure. Or an apple pie, it don't matter. No reason to divide the audience this early.
No, that's right. You don't want to do that, no.
But you would order your pie, you'd eat it, and everything would be fine on earth.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's all different. Guy comes, he's got a big tray.
Oh, yeah.
He had a canted angle, every confection known to man.
Sure.
Suddenly, his tone changes. It's not like the pork chop anymore. Some kind of sexual undertones going on. He's like, you like this? You're like, I don't know. What is it?
Do you like decadent things?
Yeah.
You're like, not that much.
No, yeah.
Once in a while, I guess.
Yeah.
May I tempt you, please? No, I'm a fella, you're a fella.
Yeah. It's embarrassing a little.
A little bit.
Now, Norm, I don't know your age, none of my business, but let me just ask you this. Are you at that age when you start to notice your age is bringing different things to the party?
Oh, yeah, I don't remember nothing no more. I used to remember everything, man. Remember all the presidents?
Having trouble with the...
All the prime ministers?
Well...
From Sir John A. Macdonald right up through Stephen Harper.
Canadian prime ministers, sure.
But now I can't remember. And, you know, as an actor, it's hard, I've heard. But I had a TV show once, Norm. I played Norm. That was the one time I was not funny.
No,
it was a fine show. But we had a great actor on it, and his name was Jack Warden. You remember Jack Warden?
Of course I remember Jack
My
Warden.
God.
Yeah, great actor.
You remember?
I think they have a picture of Jack.
They have a picture of Jack Warden? There he is. You guys remember Jack Warden?
Likable. A Broadway star, too.
He was. He was on Broadway. He told me he was in the Man in the Glass booth where he had to go an hour and a half, one single monologue. Now, I have him on my show, the Norm Show. I played Norm. And his memory's gone, and he didn't like it, you know, and it frustrated him. And I remember I was in the scene with him, so I had to remember all my lines just in case he got his right. So it was really hard on me as well.
Oh, yeah, it could take a toll on you,
Yeah,
sure.
so I remember the first line he had, we're watching a hockey game. He's a tough old guy, playing a tough old guy. And he was like, his line was supposed to be, I tell you, Normie, hockey's no good anymore, not since they put in their helmets. That was the line, right? So he looks over at me and just blank eyes. So I know he don't got nothing. But he's trying to use his acting skills, you know? So he looks at me and goes, Normie, Normie, Normie. And you could see what he remembered through what he said. Like, because he said it at this exact moment. He'd go like, Normie, Normie, Normie. Hockey, Normie. Hockey, Normie. And we're in the set as a rink.
Oh, yeah.
Hockey, Normie. I'll tell you about hockey, Normie. I'll tell you, it's no good anymore, Normie. You know why it's no good anymore, Normie? I'll tell you right now. Normie, Normie, Normie. That was cut. Take two.
I really appreciate you coming on here tonight. I don't know if you've heard, but I'm not going to be around much longer.
Yes, I know, and I understand there's only 12 shows left, and this may be my last appearance.
Well, I hope not, but.
So I was going to ask for a souvenir.
You know, you're the first person to bring this up, and I'm touched. And I want to say to you, Norm, as a friend and as somebody I have admired your entire career, whatever you want is yours. Except, Todd, you're not giving up the sweatshirt, are you? Anything you want.
Okay, excellent. Well, maybe, I know.
What? No, wait a minute. That's, Norm, those are expensive. Can you... Be careful. Oh, my God. Norm, look out. It's fine. That's fine. It's still under warranty. Okay, we'll be right back with Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Have you... I know as a comedian, one of the places everybody wants to work because it's all right there for
Oh, my God, I'm winded from that joke.
Yeah, that's the very best
I will say, in all sincerity, I know you don't like to hear these things. Emotions, you're like Nixon. And
I'm like Nixon.
But I will say, your hero was Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
Well, you are my Johnny Carson.
Oh, stop it. Please, Norm. Please, let's get all
Now,
these up.
now, but what complicates things a little, Dave, is Johnny Carson was also my Johnny Carson.
Good.
So I have two Johnny
Now,
Carsons.
here, let me just say something about you. One of the many things that I love about you was your love of George Miller, who was a great friend of mine.
Oh, my God, I love George Miller.
Yeah.
Can I do a George Miller joke?
Yeah, do a George Miller joke.
This is a George Miller joke. He goes, I was watching Wild Kingdom with my mother.
Yeah.
It said at the end, directed by Wolfgang Bauer. Produced by Wolfgang Bauer. My mother said, do you suppose that's the same? Wolfgang Bauer?
Is that the same Wolfgang Bauer? Oh, man.
What's your favorite joke, George?
Well, my favorite joke, and it'll take a little explaining. I've told it over and over again. It was told by his girlfriend at his memorial after he had passed away. He and his girlfriend not getting along very well, and George apparently one night had come into her apartment while she was gone and done some mischief. And so she called the police. And she sent them to George's house, and the cops were saying, do you know anything about this? And he said, well, no, what happened? He said, well, among other things, somebody wrote an obscenity on her bedside picture of Jesus Christ. And George said, oh, I thought that was Dan Fogelberg. That's strong, huh?
Sure. There's a passing resemblance, no question.
Yeah. So anyway, when you're in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, the oddest slogan I've ever heard. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, they say. Of course, it's not true. You can't kill a person and leave. They'll follow you across state lines and bring you back, and you'll face a jury of your peers. So I said, what does that mean? What does it mean? Like, what are they getting at, you know? I started ruminating about it. I whittled. I started whittling.
Oh, you whittle?
Yeah, when I ruminate, I whittle.
Whittle and ruminate.
Yeah, whittle.
Hand in hand.
And I said, what does that actually mean? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And it came to me in a sudden. What it means is you can have sex with a prostitute in Las Vegas, and she will not tell your wife. They're very discreet in Vegas. They're not like these gossipy small town whores. You know. These blabbermouths down at the beauty parlor with that pale blue thing over their head, whatever that is, go, you're Hank Johnson's husband? By God, I had sex in exchange for cash last night with a small world.
Yeah, in exchange for cash. Now, Norm, it's baseball beginning, and Bob Uecker.
The great Bob Uecker.
Great catcher, a radio announcer now forever for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Funniest man in the world.
Very, very funny guy. And is a
dirty, and he talks dirty.
Is that a fact?
Swears all the time.
But you guys are pals?
Yeah, I love him.
That's great. What do you...
First met him at Arizona at a spring training game, and I had just gotten a show, the Norm Show. I played Norm.
Everyone's talking about it.
So Bob Uecker said, hey, man, what are you doing now? So I go, oh, I got a show in and Bob Uecker, had already was on a successful stand-up show called Mr. Belvedere, which starred Christopher Hewitt, who studied at the Oxford Academy, as Mr. Belvedere, the butler to Bob Uecker's character. So I said, I'm doing a show, the Norm Show. I play Norm. And he said to me, he goes, hey, man, you know Belvedere? So I go, no, I don't know Belvedere. And he goes, oh, man, great guy. He, big fat guy, but still nice. And he goes, I'll tell you something about Belvedere you might not know. I go, what's that? He goes, he loves fried mozzarella. I go, oh, how do you know that? He goes, well, in the back of these TV shows, they have little things where you can get food, and they had a little stove, you know, with a skillet. And, man, I'd put mozzarella on there, and I'd feed it to him. And then one time I got called into a big meeting, and all these muckety-mucks were sitting around. They said, you got to stop feeding Belvedere. And I said, man, he likes it.
Wow. Now, what is the...
But I will tell you, one time I was with him, he did not swear. The only time that he did not, you know, compulsively swear. And we were playing golf at Troon in Arizona. And it was kind of a wistful moment. We got to the ninth hole, and he looked out, and there were about 4 guys and 2 women. They looked like real estate people, you know. And he looked out, and he goes, oh, man, he goes, the desert is one of the most beautiful places in the world, Norm. Man, you know, you look out there at night, and it's just so kaleidoscopic, man. You can't help but believe in God. You know, it breaks my heart when I see these people putting up condos and you know, just condo after condo over the most beautiful thing in nature. And then he looked at me, and he realized, I think, that he hadn't said something dirty in a while. So he said, or maybe it's a
What? Yeah, that's right. That's what I was thinking.
There's no middle ground.
No, it's either 0 or 100 miles an hour. Norm, God bless you. I love you.
I'll miss you, baby. I'll miss you.
Well, we're going to see you. We're going to see you whatever you're up to. Ladies and gentlemen, could be the funniest man in the world. We got the paperwork on that. He'll be performing at Comedy Works, Greenwood Plaza Village in Colorado, April 24th, 25th. God bless you again, Norm.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Great to be here.
We'll be right back with Theo James. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something exciting. Our next guest made his stand-up debut. I did not remember that. This man began his television stand-up debut with us 25 years ago.
Didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Very talented actor. Nobody funnier. Ladies and gentlemen, Norm Macdonald.
Thanks, guys. Listen, I don't want to brag or anything, but me and Oprah are making the same money tonight. But the show has loosened up considerably. I noticed I was watching Oprah and Dave talking about weed and booze. And I don't do either of those. The hardest drug I ever did, LSD. And I remember I was a kid, I was like 16, and I remember they warned me, they said, hey, you gotta be careful with that LSD on account of you can get a flashback. 10 years can go by, 20 years, 30 years, and a flashback will happen. So I thought, hey, that seems like a good deal. You know, you tell me I buy a drug for $5, I eat it, I get high, and then 20 years later I get high again? That's not the point. I like to stretch my drug dollar. The point is this. 10 years have passed, 20 years have passed, 30 years have passed, and no flashbacks. What a gyp that turned out to be. Just more horse by the big acid companies, that's all it is. But I can't believe it's been a quarter century since I made my television debut. It was all different back then. You know, it was back then, I remember if you wanted to take a picture, you would use a camera.
not a telephone. As a matter of fact, if you used a telephone, people would look at you odd. You know, just stay still like that. What about in the old days when they took pictures of you way back, you know, where they pulled that thing and exploded and stuff? I got a picture of my great-grandfather. The thing took 6 hours to take your picture, and there's a picture of my great-grandfather, one. They only had, every guy had one picture back then. And it's just him like... I gotta get back, feed them hogs. Who's gonna feed the hogs? Somebody gotta feed them hogs. Now, in the future, of course, it'll be different. 50 years from now, people will be going like, hey, you want to see 100,000 pictures of my great-grandfather? I got him right here, plus everything he did every day of his life. Hey, this occurred to me today. ID, which I had to show it again. There's a strange abbreviation when you think about it. I is short for I. And then D is short for dentification. They could have split that one up a little better, you know? But I watch the TV, I watch the news, make you afraid, the news, you know? Put all these stories on, Iraq, Iran, North Korea, you know, try to scare you, you know? But does it ever really scare you? Like, you ever wake up in the middle of the night, North Korea! That little tiny country across the ocean. I wonder if they'll get me. Plus, didn't MASH settle that like 20 years ago? Why'd I have to watch that stupid show? There is one country that worries me, though. Not Iraq, not Iran, not North Korea. The only country that really worries me is the country of Germany. I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not, but... in the early part of the previous century, Germany decided to go to war. And who did they go to war with? The world. It had never been tried before. And so you figure that would take about 5 seconds for the world to win, but no, it was actually close. Then about 30 years pass, and Germany decides again to go to war, and again it chooses as its enemy the world. And this time they have that guy, Schrankly, Crankly, that guy, and I'm not even going to dignify him by saying his name, but I think you know what I'm talking. But you'd think at that point the world will go, listen, Germany, here's the deal. You don't get to be a country no more on account of you keep attacking the world. I mean, what do you think, you're Mars or something? Anyways, listen, folks, this will be my last time on the David Letterman show, I understand. And you guys, we all know that David Letterman was the greatest talk show host who ever lived. But I remember Dave differently because the first time I saw him, I was 13 years old. I was living in...
I was living in Toronto, Canada, and I went to a talk show they had there. And David Letterman was the stand-up comedian on the show. And I loved stand-up. And David Letterman did this joke that I told everybody this joke. I love this joke. It still stays with me as my favorite stand-up joke ever. So I'd like to do it for you if you'd like to hear it. He goes, I was on the street the other day, and I saw a garbage truck, and on the back of the garbage truck, there was a small sign that said, "Please do not follow too closely." Another of life's simple pleasures, ruined by a meddling bureaucracy, ladies and gentlemen. You remember the old days when Dad would pile the kids in the station wagon and we'd all go out and follow a garbage truck? So anyways, I'd just like to say, I know that Mr. Letterman is not for the mawkish, and he has no truck for the sentimental, but if something is true, it is not sentimental, and I say in truth, I love you. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Norm! 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 Oh, my God.
Very funny, Norm. And thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Norm Macdonald, ladies and gentlemen.
That was very sweet, Norm.
Good night, everybody.
Now, stay tuned for James Corden. This is Alan Calder speaking. Good night, everybody.
The Pants People.
There's one other thing I'd like you to read, which is, I think, a chapter that really struck me. I'm speaking, totally genuinely. I read this chapter called The Final Chapter.
Oh, the final chapter.
It's called The Final Chapter.
It's not the last chapter.
Well,
of the book,
but it's called The Final Chapter, and it's not quite as long.
And it's not a funny. I don't think it's funny.
But you don't always have to be funny. We're in a house of worship.
I know, yeah.
But I love that chapter because I feel like...
I was Jewish.
You were? I am Jewish.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I was Jewish for
what happened?
2 years. Well, I knew a rabbi.
Yeah?
I had many, many biblical questions when I was young, and they were never answered I was Presbyterian. They were never answered by my pastors and stuff. And then I met a fellow that was Jewish, and he introduced me to his rabbi. And so if I had a question, then like one time I had a question about the Lord's Prayer, and I said there was a line in the Lord's Prayer that said, "Lead us not into temptation," and so I thought that it was without God's ability to lead us into temptation. And I asked the rabbi the question. I said, "How could God lead us into temptation? It doesn't make sense to me." And he said, "I'll get back to you."
And then you converted.
They study, yeah, I went to...
So can I set this chapter up briefly?
Sure.
Okay. So what I love about this chapter is that it, to me, you talk about facts and truth and on, but this is a very true chapter to me for some reason, even though it was ghostwritten, right?
Uh-huh.
So I would like you to read it for everybody.
It wasn't really ghostwritten.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that what you were going to say?
I wanted to say something better, to be totally honest. I'm still kind of moved by, you read this tiny white coffin thing, and we're all laughing, and then you go, oh, that kind of happened. That's very...
But what did you like about that? Start again.
Okay. I just find in that chapter, it's so rare for people to be so aware of their place in life, and so self-aware, and to be actually able to...
Well, I was forced to, during writing of an autobiography, which is, it's your life, I was forced to ask myself questions and find out if I was happy or unhappy or content or malcontent or. So, anyways, this is what I came up with.
Yeah.
There is the way things are, and then the way things appear. And it is the way things appear, even when false, that is often the truest. If I am remembered, I will always be, if I am remembered, it will always be for my 4 years I spent at Saturday Night Live, and maybe even more than that, by the events surrounding my departure from that program. As long as SNL exists, then so do I. When people come to see me do stand-up, it is because somewhere in their memory I live on SNL, dressed as a young Burt Reynolds, insisting Alex Trebek refer to me as Turd Ferguson. And they come to see me, and I am old and fat, and I don't mention SNL, and I do my answering machine joke that always does well. And they are happily disappointed, and after the show, they stand beside me and take pictures, the way you would with a donkey at the side of a road. They tell me they are big fans, and they don't care what their girlfriends say. They understand me, even though they know good and well that no one else does. I'm dry, they say. The next time I come to their town, they do not show up. It can be difficult to define yourself by something that happened so long ago and is gone forever. It's like a fellow at the end of the bar telling no one in particular about the silver medal he won in high school track, the one he still wears around his neck. The only thing an old man can tell a young man is that it goes fast, real fast. And if you're not careful, it's too late. Of course, the young man will never understand this truth. But looking back now, I can see that my life since SNL has been a full sprint, trying with all my might to outrun the wolves of irrelevancy snapping at my heels. But it has all been in vain, of course. They caught and devoured me years ago. But not completely. Lorne would see to that. My foot would still make a vague imprint. Myself would still cast a faint shadow. And years later, I would write a book. And not only write it, but be in it as well. I think a lot of people feel sorry for you if you were on SNL and emerged from the show anything less than a superstar. They assume you must be bitter. But it is impossible for me to be bitter. I've been lucky. If I had to sum up my whole life, I guess those are the words I would choose, all right. I've been lucky. When I was a boy, I was sure I'd never make it past Moose Creek, Ontario, Canada, but I've been all over this world, except for Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, and South America. Oh, and Antarctica. But that's really splitting hairs. I mean, how many people have ever been to Antarctica? I never expected to be any more than a common laborer, and I would have considered myself lucky to have achieved that. But I was blessed with so much more. I'm a stand-up comedian and have been for over a quarter of a century. I performed thousands of hours from a small club in Ottawa, Ontario, all the way to a small club in Edmonton, Alberta. Sometimes I get big laughs and I think I'm the best stand-up in the whole world. And other times I bomb and I think I'm not even in the top 5. Before I was famous, I had a whole bunch of jobs where all I needed was boots. People would look right past me in the street, or if they did look at me, it was with a mean look. But when I got famous, people would look at me and smile and wonder where they knew me from. If they flat out recognized me, they'd laugh and dance like they'd won a prize. And I'd just stand there and smile and feel warmth from their love. So the fame made the world, which is a real cold place, a little less cold. And as for my gambling, it is true, I lost it all a few times. But that's because I always took the long shot, and I never came in. But I still have some time before I cross that river. And if you're at the table and you're rolling them bones, and there's no money in playing it safe, you have to take all your chips and put them on double six and watch as every eye goes to you and then to those red dice doing their wild dance in freezing time before finding the cruel green felt. I've been lucky.
I need your love. You free my mind. I need your love. Yeah, you free my mind. We could be miles away and still align.
Beautiful chapter. and
Thank you
it's-
for clapping like
Yeah.
that. It makes me feel nice.
I'm a New Yorker. Yeah, New York? Nice. I actually got into an argument on the subway, and the guy quoted the Bible at me. That is not fair. Like, if you get to quote from your favorite book, I should be able to quote from my favorite book, right? He was like, men do not live on bread alone, Matthew 4:4. And it's like, everybody's a little bit magic, Harry Potter, chapter 7. It's not a fair fight, right? One of those books is a classic about a man who has sacrificed himself for the good of the world, and the other is the Bible. Do you know what I'm saying, people?
Roseanne, what are your thoughts on Harrison?
Well, I just love you, Harrison. You're
Thank you so much.
fantastic. And you're real brave. I mean, the stuff you're talking about, Bible jokes, that's some brave.
Thank you.
And,
I disagree. I don't think the Bible joke is brave at all. I think if you're going to take on an entire religion, you should maybe know what you're talking about. J.K. Rowling is a Christian, and J.K. Rowling famously said that if you're familiar with the scriptures, you could easily guess the ending of her book.
huh?
Okay.
I don't like it.
You get a lot of attention on Twitter sphere for being open about your religious views. What are they?
I'm a Christian. It's not
Devout?
stylish to say now.
No, are you devout?
Yeah.
You believe in the Lord?
Yes, I do.
You think you're going somewhere when it ends?
I don't believe it, but what people don't understand about faith is that you have to choose it. You know what I mean? They think that you believe it, but you have to choose it.
So you choose to have faith?
Yes.
That means you believe you're going somewhere. What is faith? But I have faith.
Yeah, the same way that you believe. There's a lot of things I have faith, but I don't really believe in DNA. Like if I was on a jury and a guy was predicted that his DNA was on this cigarette, I go, I don't know what DNA is.
I see. So you don't have faith in that?
No, I don't have faith in science.
Really?
Well, think about it. Haven't scientists always been wrong? Like they used to think the sun went around the earth. Everybody's, hey, that's scientist. Well, he's so smart. We'll give him a white coat.
Other science refuted it.
Right, but back then, everybody at that time thought that guy was smart. Why at this time do we think that the earth goes around the sun?
Did Christ think the world was flat?
Huh?
Did Christ think the world was flat? These are questions I ask.
You know, I tweeted Richard Dawkins, this famous atheist.
Yeah, I know he is.
And, of course, he just thinks I'm a moron, because he went to Cambridge and I dropped out of high school. But I asked him, I said, why does life insist? And they didn't understand. What's that mean? I'm like, well, it means, I thought he was smart. So I said, why does life
I know what you mean.
need to create other life?
Right.
Why do you have to procreate? Why do you have to live?
And fight to stay alive.
Yeah, fight to stay alive and make sure that your genes stay alive. Why do you have to do that? You know, why, if nothing matters, wouldn't the obvious thing to do be go extinct? You know what I mean? To me, that would be the clear and obviously self-evident thing to do. And, you know, in fairness to Richard Dawkins, he said, "Oh, well, that's a philosophical question that I'll ask my friends and I'll try to get back to you." So it was very nice. But I think it lies at the heart of theology, you know, and people of faith, especially in this town, you know, they'll say, you believe in an invisible man in the sky, and they already throw on you their ideas of what you believe in, you know, although they don't know what you believe, you know, they don't know what you think of as God, you know. But the one question that always bothered me and always bothers everybody is, how can children die if there's a benevolent God, right? And how can 6 million go through the chimney at Birkenau, you know? And this is a question that I think I have an answer for, because I think a lot about this kind of stuff. Because I'd really like there to be a God. I don't know at all, but I really would like there to be a God. Because Sarah Silverman told me, she's like, "So you really believe in it?" I go, "I'm trying, you know." She's like, "You believe in an invisible man in the sky?" You know, she says it that way. So I'm like, "Well, whatever, if you want to say it that way." So she's like, "Well, good luck with that." And I'm like, "Well, it's a good luck for you too. You know, it's not like your idea of like being thrown on the ground, having dirt tossed on you is such a beautiful, great idea. You know,
that doesn't bother me.
Dirt thrown on you forever?
I mean, yeah, because I just sort of feel like it's probably just a blissful state of non-existence that I had before. Boy, I'm going to be really, it's going to be a huge bummer if that's not the case.
But if you have a blissful state of non-existence, then you're talking about an afterlife.
Well, okay, blissful is probably the wrong word. I just meant I'm not aware of anything, you know. I think it'd be great if there was something, but if there's not, I think the worst thing would be your consciousness lives on, but there's nothing. So you just feel, you know.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, that would be hell.
I suppose.
I mean, Nabokov, I think, was the guy who said, like, he saw a picture of himself. I'm sorry, he saw a picture of his parents. And his parents had his older brother in his arm, and his mother had his older brother in her arms, and his mother and father and his older brother. But he had not been born yet. And he said he felt no grief or terror at that picture.
Sure.
Where he didn't exist.
Right.
So I thought that was very interesting. Like, it's what you're saying. You know,
right.
That why be afraid of not existing? Because it's not really you that dies. It's the world that dies.
Sure.
And you know, everything there is. Everything there is and everything.
I mean, I think it would be fantastic if there was some sort of a transformation of, this is a conservation of emotional energy that, you know, once your emotional energy forms, it can't ever be destroyed, and it just disperses into the universe somehow, and you're a part of this thing that is you can't comprehend now, but once you're there, you'll totally get it.
It's very hard to believe.
But it'd be great if that were the, and
of course it would be great.
I don't fault anyone.
But here's my answer for the
What's the answer?
For the chimneys. Here's what I believe. If there is a God, and if he is good, and if he created the universe and the earth, then an all-good being, what can he create? He can't create good, because that would just be expansion. So all he can create is bad. So he creates bad, and then in a cool twist, the bad that he creates is allowed itself in a godlike way to create good from the bad. Because originally God created good from the bad, then bad from the good, and then he gives man the exact opportunity. So just from a standpoint of logic, which, is what atheists always try to say, I believe that there is an answer for the question of why God allows horrors. And that's what I come up with. But
I also,
I have a rabbi who I talk to a lot. I'm not Jewish.
No, McDonald's, no.
I was for a year, but he's the guy that knows. He's a scholar. Like my pastor doesn't know anything. Like he's just a pleasant guy. And he has.
I don't know. You should probably look that up.
Hey,
what is there?
I know. If you ask him a direct question, you go, "Huh? What? Didn't you hear my sermon?" And the sermon's always like, how to be a nice fella, or something. It's always nonsense. But this pastor, I phoned this pastor because I try to read the scriptures and study them. Last week I asked this priest, this rabbi. I was saying, like in the Old Testament, they have the Lord's Prayer. And in the Lord's Prayer, he says, lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And I said, how could God lead us into temptation? It's without his boundaries, it's without his fence. God can't do that, if I'm correct about the God of the Old Testament. He cannot. It's not in his nature. The devil can, but not God. So the devil's hard to believe in. Of all the religions, it's hard to say one's worse than the other, But I can say with all belief that there's one religion that's just not true. And that's the Church of Satan. I think it even purports to be not true. It's like, there's a guy that's bigger than me.
Well, I think some of them, I think some of the people who are, and I don't know, I can't speak for everyone, but just some of the stuff that I've seen online, I think some people adopt it as kind of a counter, like, okay, well, you guys have that guy over there with the beard, and then we have this guy.
Yeah.
And we should all be accepting it's not just that one, or just like, I think
right.
Sometimes I think it's
But
a
do you
reaction.
really want to have a personal relationship with the devil? A guy, it's the only religion where there's a bigger, stronger guy outside, of that the Satanists say exists.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
But they say we're going to go with the
guy
underdog.
who was, because that guy, that guy wasn't popular. He got cast out. So we're going to be with this guy over here because
maybe that's it. Maybe he's an outlaw.
Yeah, he's kind of an outlaw. Yeah, exactly.
He's definitely the original outlaw. Look, I don't want to say too many good things about the devil. But I guess he was. Now that you say it, he was the original.
I hadn't really thought about it before, but I guess now, he was the original guy who got kicked out of the party. Who doesn't relate to that?
Exactly.
It's like big popular guys having a party. There's naked people running around. There's snakes and apples. There's a beautiful garden. It's like, they get kicked out. Come on. Everyone knows what that feels like.
It's funny, people think that whatever religion you are, Christian or whatever, that you're so self-righteous, but actually, they feel they're sinners. When I was a Christian, I would sin all the time, and I ate apples. That's on page 1 of the book. Worst possible thing you could do. And but anyways, I'm right now I'm of no faith.
But you're looking for answers.
Yeah, I'll find something. I'm probably closer to Judaism right now than anything else.
Last week on Larry King Live, Marlon Brando made the shocking statement that Hollywood is, quote, run by Jews. In response, outraged Jewish organizations made it snow in New York in April. Well, earlier this week, actor Marlon Brando met with Jewish leaders to apologize for comments he made on Larry King Live. Among them, that, quote, Hollywood is run by Jews. The Jewish leaders accepted the actor's apology and announced that Brando is now free to work again. While in England, where he spoke at Oxford University, Simpson had defended actor Marlon Brando's criticism of Hollywood Jews. Later, from his island hideaway, Brando sent O.J. a telegram which read, "You're not helping." In Cincinnati, is Cincinnati Reds owner Marge Schott an anti-Semite? Well, it is beginning to look that way. According to a report out today, on the entire Cincinnati Reds team, there is not one Jewish player. A group of Orthodox rabbis declared that other branches of Judaism are, quote, not Judaism at all, thus challenging the religious status of millions of American Jews. This week, that statement was rejected by Reform leader Rabbi Don Schonstein, who said, quote, our legitimacy as Jews flows from the richness of our Jewish lives, the strength of our Jewish communities, and most important of all, our deep and abiding belief in Jesus Christ. Finally, folks, next week, Jews everywhere will be celebrating the holiday of Yom Kippur, or as non-Jews refer to it, Wednesday.
Let's talk about you now. Let me ask you something.
Yes,
Another guy from Canada has come and invaded show business here in the United States.
With an acerbic wit.
So many funny guys come out of Canada. What is it about Canada that produces all these comedians? What do you think it is?
I don't know, because when I'm in Canada, no one's funny.
You think it's the long, dark, cold winters? You just had to find something to laugh about?
Yeah, we don't have dark winters. We don't live in the Arctic Circle.
But they're long, aren't they?
They're long and cold, and they're cold.
And really cold.
Yeah, they're cold.
So when you're a kid up in Canada...
I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but they're cold.
Yeah.
You said this is the coldest you've ever been. You're Canadian, so are you okay with this?
I've been colder than this. I've been colder than a vampire's...
Go on.
That's like
We're
an
waiting.
8 a.m. joke.
No, yeah, we can do it at 7:19. The stage is yours.
Are you drunk? Because all you did was ride a cooler and you're sweating.
I am. Well, it's hot as it's hotter than a $2
Well, he's
pistol
got like
in here.
12 layers on,
Yeah,
I think.
I thought it was going to be really cold.
Well, you're from Canada. This should be this should be springtime for you.
No, I know I'm from Canada, but you know I'm still a human being. Like it's not like you really evolved differently. Yeah, no, I'm from the frozen north.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets colder than It gets colder than a...
Oh, here it comes. Get your finger on the panic button.
No, it gets colder than a vampire's demeanor.
Okay, that's better. Wow. Surprisingly cerebral.
One time I kissed Relic.
The Beachcombers?
Yeah.
Were you on a ferry or?
No, that Indian guy from the show gave me some bad heroin.
That's not true.
No.
You made that up.
I didn't make that part up, but I did have a long kiss with Relic.
For a show or just party?
Yeah, no, I was supposed to be on the Beachcombers.
Right, that would have been awesome. With Jackson Davies, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And turns out I was never going to be on the Beachcombers, and I was just going to be in Relic's hotel room.
What, were you in Vancouver?
Yeah, I was in Vancouver, and I'm like, this is going to be the greatest. I'm going to be, I was supposed to be like the new breed of the beachcomber and everything. That's what Relic said.
So this is a next generation beachcomber thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Beachcomber, the next generation. Relic was supposed to be the executive producer, and he'd make occasional like appearances. This is what he told me in his hotel room.
Come on. This didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
Okay. I got to read this book. Sean.
Hey, I should put that in the book.
You should. I know there's a couple generations maybe between you two as comedians. Looking at
a couple.
Watching Norm over the years and some of the characters, what's it like being alongside one of the best?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I love Dirty Work, and I love Saturday Night Live. And then I worked with Norm. He was my boss, my first boss in Los Angeles.
Yeah, Sean's awesome, man. Future of comedy. If you show this clip like 10, 20 years from now, you're going to go, who's that old guy talking about, who the hell is Relic?
Oh, I love that
I'll
story.
be like Relic, and he'll be like me, like 20 years, when you look at this in the vault. In Canada, it's different. Like here in the States, you vote for the president, maybe you vote for the wrong guy, a war happens.
Right.
In Canada, it's not like that. You go, like, what's the big thing? Should they make that bridge?
Right. That's the biggest.
Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. So it's, you know,
It's too much
we're
pressure.
very inconsequential, Canada.
Yeah.
Last time I performed here at the Just for Laughs Gala was 25 years ago, and I did so well, they invited me back. So that was nice. I love Montreal, my God, you know, and call me an eternal optimist, you know, but I really believe in my heart that this is the year that the Expos are finally going to win it all. Montreal, famous for a lot of things, you know, one of them being the greatest strip clubs in all of the world. Yeah. Last night, are you aware of Club Super Sex? Yeah, so last night I went to Club Super Sex. I chose the soup. Big mistake. Hey, big election coming up, and in Canada, this is the difference in elections in America and Canada, is elections in America mean something. You vote for the wrong motherfucker, the world blows up. I don't need that on my hands. Whereas Canada, you know, what's the, it's always like, well, what's your view on the bridge? I say keep as it is. I don't think they need to clean that up. That's fine. It was easy when I was young to vote because it was simply, you know, you just didn't vote for the French guy. It couldn't have been an easier choice. As a matter of fact, I almost feel like coming back this fall just as an homage to my late father and not vote for Trudeau. My dad did not like Trudeau. Trudeau was my hero, though. I loved him, you know. And since I've come back, I've been watching the news and everything. I've been seeing Justin, you know. And I thought, by God, you know, this Justin kid, he must be brilliant because his father was Pierre Elliott Trudeau. But then I forgot, he's got a mother. So that's kind of evens everything out. You know, what's also different in America and Canadian election, in America, you get to vote for the President of the United States, and in Canada, you vote for some motherfucker who lived down the street. In your riding. Whatever the hell that is. So then, that guy, he goes to the House of Parliament, you know, and he's like, oh, wow, this is big. And And then the speaker's like, all right, well, what are we going to talk about? Anybody want to bring an issue? And then your guy's like, yeah, I just, our bridge ain't looking too good. The speaker's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I go, no, I'll sit down. Sorry about that, I just...
I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go, go, go. I'm scared of letting go of everything. Scared of letting go.
Thank you and good evening. I'm Norm Macdonald, and I could not be more excited to be here. You know, when I was asked to host the Canadian Screen Awards, I called my good friend Chris Rock, and I said to him, I've got some great news, Chris. I'm going to Canada. And he said, I've got some great news, too. I'm hosting the Oscars. What are you doing in Canada? And I said, you know, visiting some family, friends. The usual. We're coming to you live from Toronto, or as you cost-cutting location scouts call it, New York City. Never has there been such an assembly of great Canadian talent in a single location that did not have to be Zambonied first. Tonight, the CSAs are being seen in over 50 countries. Isn't that exciting? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, wait. I misread that. 50 counties. And a couple of regional municipalities. We are here to celebrate nominees for their wonderful work in Canadian cinema and television, which is a lot like celebrating the Northern Lights. You probably haven't seen them, but you've heard they're amazing. We have a lot to celebrate in our industry. Amongst the TV shows nominated tonight are Amazing Race Canada, Big Brother Canada, Master Chef Canada. Where do they come up with these ideas? But it's been a wonderful year for Canada. It's been a especially great year for one little guy. One adorable little Canadian youngster who's already accomplished so much. Of course, you know who I'm talking about, Justin Trudeau. Hasn't he had a wonderful year? It's been a busy weekend getting here. We lost an hour. As you know, daylight savings time went into effect last night. I give it 6 months. Well, we're going to start the show, but I was... It hasn't started yet, you didn't know. I saw a wild look of alarm cross your eyes. But I was backstage yesterday, and we were doing rehearsals, and I asked, what is the statuette called? And they said, it's called the Canadian Screen Award. And I said, well, that seems kind of dull. Like, what? That's the name of the award? And they said, well, we've been bandying around different names, but none of, they said in Canada it takes a long time to get stuff done and stuff. But one of them they mentioned was the Candy. And I think John Candy, I mean, who doesn't love John Candy? So, of course, the statuette should be called the Candies. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you are a presenter, ignore the teleprompter and say, the candy goes to. And if you are lucky enough to win one, go, I want a candy. What do you think of that? Can you go along with that? Excellent. That would make us a better nation. I am not here to upbraid.
However, I think I made it quite clear that these awards should be referred to as the candies. A 9-year-old child knew. Are you so burdened with this preposterous technology? So I would like not to see that again. You know, backstage I was thinking how different things are since I moved to the United States. You know, now I'm in the United States. One thing I've noticed about films, I don't like foreign films anymore. You know? They're all like artsy, kind of not my cup of tea. But when I grew up in Ottawa, by God, I loved foreign films. You know, Star Wars, Smokey and the Bandit. Do you remember that one? Here to present our next award, the Candy. And this will be the end of my upbraiding, I hope. George St. Kitts and the Candy Band. Who can take a sunrise? Come on, guys. Sprinkle it, but they can't. Well, whatever. Well, our next presenters are political people. And it made me think, because I was just told Cape Breton Island, I don't know if you know this, but they are offering sanctuary to anyone that lives in America after Trump is elected president by a landslide. And I agree with this in principle, but why Cape Breton Island? I mean, can't I just flee to Toronto? Do I have to leave the fucking planet? I mean, I just go to Baffin Island while I'm at it. All right, now welcome to the stage, two Canadian. Oh, the candies are going great so far, aren't they? I would like to say to Eugene Levy that there's no reason to be ashamed of your son. My son only this morning punched me in the chest really hard. Listen, I have some good news. I just found out that all of you here tonight will be getting a swag bag. Yeah. Just like the Oscars. I haven't seen one yet, but why don't we take a look and see what you're getting? I'm going to call Megan, our golden girl, out. Megan, our golden girl? Hi, Megan. Come on out here. Ah, you brought the swag bag. Yes, can you hold it open? And then I'll take things out of the swag bag. What do we have here? A loose pancake. What else we got here, Megan? We got, oh, this looks cool. It's a CD, you know what they are, of Nelly Furtado singing all the national anthems. Torn from today's headlines. See what else we have. Oh, we have this. Ah, yes, this. This is a bottle of Eau de John Cherry Cologne. It's for the gentleman in the audience. Now, what else do we have? Hopefully something a little funnier than the last one. Here. We have a 30-minute massage from producer Robert Lantos. Don't try to go for 50. You only can hit 30. Now, what else do we have here? Oh, a curling stone. You know what these are made of? I always took them for granite. Last time I take a joke from Martin Short. All right. Megan,
just do some house cleaning here. Having a hand for Megan, our Golden Globe. A natural mistake. All right. Listen, guys. For some reason, I've been told to stretch. So, oh, I've never tried that before. The show's over, folks. Good night. But for the first candies, respect, peace. All right. Wow, this is exciting. Thank you, and welcome to the American Music Awards. This is exciting. I'm not actually in music, so let me introduce myself. To those of you who don't know me, I'm Norm Macdonald. For those of you not familiar with me, thank you very much. I am the biological child of Melissa Etheridge and Norm Crosby. So if you want to... Well, that's the big story in music news right now. Melissa Etheridge asked her friend David Crosby to be the biological father of her children. And you know, this was a new experience for David Crosby. Usually when David Crosby picks up a turkey baster, there's a turkey in the vicinity. That's right. He's a fat guy. But this is the 27th Annual American Music Award. It's the first American Music Award of the new millennium, and we're setting a... Yeah, very exciting. Very exciting. And we're setting a big record here tonight. Three straight hours of ABC programming without Regis, so that's kind of exciting. You know? You know, before I did the show, I never realized how much work it took to put on a production like this. Check it out. They spent 2 months building all these incredible sets. They had to coordinate 14 live music acts, and most impressive of all, they had to find a seat filler for Jennifer Lopez. She got a... What the fuck was that? Now, maybe you guys are right. Maybe she doesn't have a gigantic ass. I stand corrected. Well, it's been quite a year in music, though. Let's look back. A lot of classic songs have been covered this year, haven't they? Lenny Kravitz did American Woman. Dwight Yoakam did Crazy Little Thing Called Love. And Barry Manilow released an album entitled Manilow Sings Sinatra. And I'll tell you, it is a great CD, or as I like to call it, it is a great coaster. I like to throw my drinks on that. It's not a good CD at all. And you know, with everyone so obsessed with their careers nowadays in music, you know what I mean? Here's a kind of a nice story. Celine Dion is retiring from music to try to start a family, you know? And I think she's serious about it, because I just saw her backstage chasing David Crosby with a bucket and a copy of Swank. So I think she's serious about it. Well, we've got a big show, so let's get it going. Yeah. Here are our first presenters. As Dr. Fraser Crane, he's achieved stardom in TV, and with hits like Come to My Window and Angels Would Fall, she's achieved stardom in music. But they have one thing in common. They both love the ladies. Please welcome Melissa Etheridge and Kelsey Grammer. Thank you. We're back here to present the award for the favorite country album. Our Shadazy. An interesting thing about the name Shadazy. Do you realize that the name Shadazy comes from the Native American word for my sisters? It's kind of like that other Native American band Chumbawamba, which means thanks for that one song. Ladies and gentlemen, Shadazy, right here. Okay, folks, before we continue, I have an announcement from the management. Would the owner of a Glock 9 with the inscription, "Too Puffy with Love," please pick up your gun? It's at the hospitality suite. Well, 1999 was a big year for Latin musicians, and Atlanta Braves pitcher John Rocker thinks they all suck. He especially hates our next performer and has never bought any of his 13 consecutive #1 Latin singles or any of his 17 million albums he sold. So if you're watching now, John Rocker, be a good time to hit the can. For the rest of us, here he is, Enrique Iglesias. That's a coincidence because I did that song in a karaoke bar the other night. That's one of my favorite songs. I was just talking to Dre backstage. I don't know if he's a real doctor, but he did prescribe me some stuff. So I don't know. There he goes. And that leads us to our first special merit award of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, for nearly 30 years, our next presenter toured the country with his band, the Grateful Dead, playing guitar to sold-out arenas of tie-dyed hippies. That's right. Please welcome the late, great Andy Garcia. Well, I'll tell you, it's nice to be back on stage out here. You know, I don't want to say my dressing room is small, but Tommy Lee just dropped by to visit. He shook hands with Carmen Electra. He blew out a wall. He's got a huge, anyway. And now to present tonight's next award. Real singers, country music stars Trace Adkins and Montgomery Gentry. Oh, well, thank you, folks. I didn't know the Judds were back together. Did you know that? I just saw them. I just saw the Judds backstage. Yeah, you're big Judds fans? I just saw the Judds backstage chasing David Crosby around with 6 mason jars and a ham sandwich tied on a fishing pole. I don't know what it means. Our next presenters are talented young stars who became overnight sensations with their brilliant debut albums. And if I can take this moment to offer a little friendly advice, kids, whatever you do, when you put out your second albums, don't suck. Please welcome Tal Bachman and Britney Spears. Yeah, Savage Garden. That was great. He didn't seem as savage tonight as usual to me, but that might just be me. You know, folks, it's time for our next presenters, and for a long time there's been a rivalry between West Coast rappers and East Coast saxophone players. But tonight they have put their differences aside to be here. Please welcome Warren G. and Kenny G. Our next performers took their name from the nickname of their home state. They picked Lone Star because the other nickname for Texas was already taken by that other band, Alabama. Ladies and gentlemen, Lone Star. Well, you all know our next two presenters. When he was on the show Silver Spoons, he went by the name of Ricky. But now he's all grown up on NYPD Blue, and he prefers to be called Big Ricky. She is an exceptionally gifted singer and songwriter by the name of Amy Grant, although she also prefers to be called Big Ricky, oddly enough. Ladies and gentlemen, big hand for Big Ricky Schroeder and Big Ricky Grant. Thank you, folks. I'm really happy to save the 90s Artist of the Decade Award for me to present. I have been a huge country music fan my entire life, and I'm a big fan of this guy. In case you don't know, there's been no need for voting on this one at all. The record stands by itself. Look at these statistics. The fastest selling artist in history. 4 albums, sold more than 10 million copies each. Over 95 million albums sold in all, more than any other American recording artist. By acclamation, the 90s Artist of the Decade, Garth Brooks. Together three of the hottest top 10 singers, and we put them together on this stage to participate in a bare-knuckle fight to the death. Here are Tyrese, Jessica Simpson, and Julio Iglesias Jr. That's it, folks. Good night. Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be here, you know, and I was asked to host the ESPYs this year. Yeah, hi, that's my name, Espen. When I was asked to host the ESPYs this year, folks, I said yes immediately for one reason and one reason only. This show has interns. I'll be having a little improper relations backstage a little later. But man, it's great to be here at the 6th annual ESPY Awards. Hard to believe, huh, that the ESPYs are 6 years old. Although Anthony Mason swears they're 18. So, yeah, he'll be having sex with the ESPYs in about 12 years. So, I was a little late here tonight. I took a cab to the theater, folks. And I don't know if you've ever been in these New York City cabs, but I got one of those cabbies, couldn't speak English, you know. Saw his name there on the dash. I couldn't even pronounce it. I think it was something like Hideki Arabu. I'm like, Arabu's been having some trouble, man. They fired his translator. Steinbrenner fired his translator. And people see that as cruel, you know, but I don't know, you know. I mean, if you're not doing well in Yankee Stadium, you know, do you really need a translator? Do you want that, you know? You know? Hey, what'd they say? They say you suck. You should go back to Japan, you dirty foreigner. Okay, I got it. I'm trying to pitch over here. It's great to be here on ESPN. I love sports, man. Man, you can see sports on ESPN you don't see on other networks. You know, like kickboxing. That's my favorite sport. Kickboxing is great. When you think about it, it combines the style and grace of boxing with kicking. This seems kind of immature. Just backstage, a lot of celebrities back there, man. I was talking to Jerry Jones, you know, the Cowboys owner, and he's disappointed, obviously. Yeah. Well, he's a good guy, though, man. He's talking about rebuilding the team, you know. And he told me, he says, we have to get back to what made us a championship team. Strippers and crack. Hey, have you heard about this? Ted Turner and NBC plan to start their own rival football league to compete with the NFL. And not much known about the specifics of this new league, except for this, it will suck. They know that. So they might have trouble, you know, getting advertisers when we know it will suck. And of course, congratulations to the Denver Broncos for winning the Super Bowl. How about that? Denver did great, you know. There he is. I love the Denver fans, you know, because for one thing, they don't wear food on their heads. That's nice. And they had a wild celebration in Denver after that Super Bowl, man. And now city officials expect an even wilder celebration if the Nuggets win 10 games this year. They say they're going to... say the whole city's going to go nuts. Yeah, the Nuggets are having a bad year this year, man. Matter of fact, they're making a film about the team. They got a pretty catchy title. It's Black Men Can't Jump Either. Well, NBA All-Star Weekend over. That was exciting, man. The East beat the West. Jeff Hornacek won the three-point shootout. Houston's Clyde Drexler and Cynthia Cooper won that exciting two-ball thing. And Charles Barkley won the throw a guy through a plate glass window contest. So that was quite a game, you know. I mean, you know who impressed me the most yesterday was Kobe Bryant. Unbelievable. This guy's amazing. 19 years old, the youngest starter ever in the All-Star game, and he played so well that today he was named spokesman for NBC's new public service campaign called Screw It, Who Needs College? Of course, the biggest story in basketball, no question about it, Michael Jordan may retire. Yeah. Michael Jordan may retire after this season, and it's terrible news for Bull fans, you know, but it is terrific news for golf hustlers. They're happy about it. But Jordan is very serious, though, about leaving. In fact, he's already called the Hall of Fame to make sure that his plaque bears his basketball nickname, Air Jordan, and not his baseball nickname, Senior Crappy. That would just be disrespectful, you know? Well, how about them Winter Olympics? They're finally underway, so we've got a lot of great stuff to look forward to the next 2 weeks, like hockey and, well, just hockey, really. I was watching last night, I saw speed skating, and my goodness, you know, could the outfits they wear be any tighter? Holy Lord. There was an East German woman, I swear, you could see the outline of her entire penis. It was... Oh, my goodness. Well, there's all kinds of sports celebrities in the audience tonight. I see Tiger Woods right there. Tiger Woods, how about that, huh? He's up for golf. Of course, he's up for Golfer of the Year this ESPYs. And you know who I feel sorry for, folks, is the other two guys nominated for Golfer of the Year. You see these guys getting ready, you know? It's like, hey, honey, have you seen my tuxedo? No, not the good one. The one I wear when I'm going to get my ass kicked. Have you seen that one? Boomer Esiason is with us. Boomer. How you doing, buddy? Boomer, of course, will replace Frank Gifford on Monday Night Football next season. And Frank told reporters that this will allow him to spend more time with his wife and children. Then he broke down and cried for 45 minutes. So... Charles Woodson. How about that? What a season he had. Great, man. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off. It's a word of advice. Before we can begin handing out our awards tonight, we must look.
Live from Toronto at the Sony Centre, it's the 4th Annual Canadian Screen Awards with your host, Norm Macdonald, featuring Martin Short, Jay Baruchel, Rick Mercer, Emily Van Camp, Eugene Levy, Jacob Tremblay, Catherine O'Hara, Christopher Plummer, and Donald Sutherland. Now, please welcome Norm Macdonald.
Thank you and good evening. I'm Norm Macdonald, and I could not be more excited to be here. You know, when I was asked to host the Canadian Screen Awards, I called my good friend Chris Rock, and I said to him, I've got some great news, Chris. I'm going to Canada. And he said, I've got some great news, too. I'm hosting the Oscars. What are you doing in Canada? And I said, you know, visiting some family, friends. The usual. We're coming to you live from Toronto, or as you cost-cutting location scouts call it, New York City. Look at this beautiful crowd, though. Isn't it something? Dashing men. That sounded like Bobo. Look at this beautiful crowd, though, folks. Dashing men. Dashing men in black ties, sophisticated women in elegant gowns, and tonight, all of you are going to hear the word shits about 100 times. Never has there been such an assembly of great Canadian talent in a single location that did not have to be zambonied first. Tonight, the CSAs are being seen in over 50 countries. Isn't that exciting? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Don't, wait. I misread that. 50 counties. And a couple of regional municipalities. We are here to celebrate nominees for their wonderful work in Canadian cinema and television, which is a lot like celebrating the Northern Lights. You probably haven't seen them, but you've heard they're amazing. You know, we were worried people would record the show and they'd just fast forward to the good parts, as is the want these days. So we have put a plan in place to prevent that from happening. We have decided to not have any good parts. I'm doing my part. But no, that's not true. We have a lot to celebrate in our industry. Amongst the TV shows nominated tonight are Amazing Race Canada, Big Brother Canada, Master Chef Canada. Where do they come up with these ideas? We are honored to have the great Christopher Plummer here tonight. Mr. Plummer is nominated for Remember, the story of a man who at age 90 sets out to kill the Nazi who murdered his family. And I thought I left things to the last minute. But it's been a wonderful year for Canada. It's been a especially great year for one little guy, one adorable little Canadian youngster who's already accomplished so much. Of course, you know who I'm talking about, Justin Trudeau. Hasn't he had a wonderful year? No, I'm kidding. I was misdirecting you. I'm talking about Jacob Tremblay. Jacob is up for Best Actor, and he will be competing against the aforementioned Christopher Plummer. You know, Jacob is only 9 years old. Christopher Plummer
86 years old. But they have a couple of things in common. One, the deep love of their craft, and two, they are both up way past their bedtimes. And tonight, the Lifetime Achievement Award will be presented to Mr. Martin Short. It's the Academy's way of saying, thank you so much, we've had enough. Well, Don Rickles. As a friend, it's over. Ingenue Ellis is here tonight. Absolutely. She has done some powerful work in the Book of Negroes, which tells the story of a woman confronting the tragic legacy of racism in 18th century America. Oh, did I mention on the show Sunnyside, I play a talking manhole? That doesn't mean it's better, it's just different. Rossif Sutherland is here, nominated for his role in River. And he is here with his iconic father, Donald Sutherland, who has come to support his son. Not to compete with him like someone I know, Eugene Levy. Oh, and Catherine O'Hara is here tonight, the wonderful... That's a beautiful dress you have on, Catherine. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But Catherine is an actress of extraordinary range, from her many characters on SCTV, of course, to her work in Best in Show and Home Alone, and perhaps her most remarkable performance to date as the title character in the Book of Negroes. I lost $1. It's been a busy weekend getting here. We lost an hour. As you know, daylight savings time went into effect last night. I give it 6 months. And I'd like to take a brief moment, as all moments are, I suppose, to thank my writers. You know, the writers are so specialized these days. There's a joke writer, he gives you jokes. There's a gag writer, he gives you gags. There's a head writer, he gives you... What I'm saying is things are they're specialized. Well, we're going to start the show, but I was... It hasn't started yet, you didn't know. I saw a wild look of alarm cross your eyes. But I was backstage yesterday, and we were doing rehearsals, and I asked, what is the statuette called? And they said, it's called the Canadian Screen Award. And I said, well, that seems kind of dull. Like, what? That's the name of the award? And they said, well, we've been bandying around different names, but none of, they said in Canada it takes a long time to get stuff done and stuff. But one of them that they said, one of them they mentioned was the Candy. And I think John Candy, I mean, who doesn't love John Candy? So, of course, this statuette should be called the Candies. So what I'm asking you to do is, if you are a presenter, ignore the teleprompter and say, the candy goes to. And if you are lucky enough to win one, go, I won a candy. What do you think of that? Can you go along with that? Excellent. That would make us a better nation. not here to upbraid. However, I think I made it quite clear that these awards should be referred to as the candies. A 9-year-old child knew. Are you so burdened with this preposterous technology? So I would like not to see that again. You know, backstage I was thinking how different things are since I moved to the United States. You know, now I'm in the United States. One thing I've noticed about films, I don't like foreign films anymore. You know? They're all like artsy, kind of not my cup of tea. But when I grew up in Ottawa, by God, I loved foreign films. You know, Star Wars, Smokey and the Bandit. Do you remember that one? Here to present our next award, the Candy. And this will be the end of my upbraiding, I hope. Is an accomplished actor. All right. Hey, before we go on any further, how about a hand for the band, huh? Good job, guys. George St. Kitts and the Candy Band. Who can take a sunrise? Come on, guys. Sprinkle it, but they can't. Well, whatever. Well, our next presenters are political people. And it made me think, because I was just told Cape Breton Island, I don't know if you know this, but they are offering sanctuary to anyone that lives in America after Trump is elected president by a landslide. And I agree with this in principle, but why Cape Breton Island? I mean, can't I just flee to Toronto? Do I have to leave the fucking planet? I mean, I just go to Baffin Island while I'm at it. All right, now, welcome to the stage, 2 Canadians. Oh, the candies are going great so far, aren't they? I would like to say to Eugene Levy that there's no reason to be ashamed of your son. My son only this morning punched me in the chest really hard. Listen, I have some good news. I just found out that all of you here tonight will be getting a swag bag. Yeah. Just like the Oscars. I haven't seen one yet, but why don't we take a look and see what you're getting? I'm going to call Megan, our golden girl, out. Megan, our golden girl? Hi, Megan. Come on out here. Ah, you brought the swag bag. Yes, can you hold it open? And then I'll take things out of the swag bag. What do we have here? A loose pancake. What else we got here, Megan? We got, oh, this looks cool. It's a CD, you know what they are, of Nelly Furtado singing all the national anthems. Torn from today's headlines. See what else we have. We have this. Ah, yes, this. This is a bottle of Eau de John Cherry Cologne. It's for the gentleman in the audience. Now, what else do we have? Hopefully something a little funnier than the last one. Here. We have a 30-minute massage from producer Robert Lantos. Don't try to go for 50. You only can hit 30. And then what else do we have here? Oh, a curling stone. You know what these are made of? I always took them for granite. Last time I take a joke from Martin Short. All right. Megan, just do some house cleaning here. Having a hand for Megan, our Golden Globe. A natural mistake. Now, please welcome one of Canada's. All right. I want to apologize for running out earlier. I don't know if anybody saw that. But, you know, these things happen in live TV, and it reminds me actually of a maxim that Christopher Plummer told me many years ago. He said, before a live awards ceremony, do not eat a fistful of LSD. Take that with you. I'm sorry, Jacob. How's Jacob doing? Hey, Jacob. Congratulations, buddy. This must be like deja vu for you, being stuck in a room for so long like this. All right, folks, please welcome. All right. Listen, guys. For some reason, I've been told to stretch. So, oh, I've never tried that before. The show's over, folks. Good night. But for the first candies, respect, peace. About your friend.
Hey, you're not going to believe this, but Bill Maher is giving away the solution to all our problems for free. He is, isn't he?
Norm Macdonald died yesterday. Did you know Norm well?
Well, not well. No one knew him well.
Yeah, no one knew him well. I worked with him. I spent a great deal of time with him, and I feel like I never knew him at all.
But huge fan.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who was not afraid to be too subtle for most people.
Uh-huh.
That's ballsy.
Uh-huh.
You know? He did the jokes he wanted to do. I love that.
You believe in Lord? I do.
You do? Are you religious?
I believe in God.
I do too.
That's as far as I go.
Yeah, me too.
And I don't need your buddy Bill Maher telling me I'm an idiot.
I don't like when atheists say all that shit. It pisses me off too. I'm glad you said that.
They don't know shit either.
So I want you to shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Who asked you?
I've never got the answer to the one question, which is why? Why Connecticut children? Why? Why a bomber in Boston? If there is a God, he's omnipotent.
Yes.
If he's omnipotent, he could prevent it.
Yes.
Why didn't he prevent it?
I don't know, man, but you got to stop hanging out in that hot tub with Bill Maher all the time and get some. It sounds like you got a God-shaped hole in your heart.
What the hell are you talking about?
Interesting thing. Some comedians, Larry, I feel, a comedian, what he should be doing is being funny. That should be his goal, to be funny. I feel some comedians, their goal is to be smart. And the funny is like a collateral thing. They want to be seen as smart. Your friend Bill Maher, for instance, you know, he wants to be seen as an intellectual.
Dennis Miller.
Nobody likes a guy smarter than them. That's the worst guy you can be. A guy smarter than the audience. They're going to hate you, you know?
Yeah, it's a very good observation.
All right, let's talk a little bit about China because, Paul, you are an expert. This is your book. As you can see, it looks like many of the menus that you get in restaurants.
I said it had to look like a Chinese menu.
It really does.
It must look like
exactly like a menu. But I know you know a lot about it, and I don't, but here's what I think.
Don't be silly. I heard you speaking Mandarin backstage.
Clinton just re-upped the most favored nation status, which some people have said we shouldn't do. They say we should break off relations with China because China, admittedly, has, you know, as bad a human rights record as Don King. I don't know. It's just bad. But China is a very isolationist country. Historically, they built a wall. I don't know if you know that. And if
That's the Berlin Wall.
No. That's a different wall. That's in Egypt. And if we break off with them, I think they'll just say, well, the hell with you, and go on doing what they're doing anyway. I think the only way to bring them into the family of nations, and I know this is what the president says, but not just this president, many others, is to engage with them. Why is that wrong?
It's not wrong. We already owe them so much money. We can't break off them. We have so many slave laborers and little kiddies earning 10 cents a day to make tennis shoes that we owe them a ton of money. We can't break off. I mean, they're not.
Of course
in other
we
words,
can break off. Of course we can break off. First of all, the president himself in 1992 attacked President Bush for coddling the butchers of Beijing. Do you remember that?
Well,
now
that
here
was
we
during
are.
a campaign.
He doesn't just want to extend most favored nation status permanently. He wants to toast them, celebrate them, honor them. I mean, can't we just trade with them? Do we have to respect them in the morning?
But the whole world, it's tough. The whole. I agree. I don't know why they're the most favored nation, but we do owe them a ton of money. The fact is that they make stuff for the whole world. Every Christmas decoration in the whole world is made in China. Forget Nikes, you know.
Well, that lets you know that the issue is money. Clearly, the issue has to be money. I was telling Ariana, I saw a documentary that really detailed the whole events in Tiananmen Square. I mean, and this was some really deep stuff. And if anyone saw that, you know, they would say, well, this is wrong. How can we support any regime or any government that supports this? It was like 2 weeks of Kent State, day and night. But when it's not like, clearly the issue is money.
Kissinger approved of Tiananmen Square, so did Al Haig. Everyone's saying
that doesn't make it right.
No, it's not right. No, it's not right. I think it's despicable. I think it's an abomination. I think it's an abomination. I don't think we should give them most favored nation. I agree with you.
But why not? Because if we break off, other people will trade with them, and they won't change.
Everyone trades with them.
Isn't it hubris to think that we can change China any more than China could change us by making campaign contributions?
Do you know what's the percentage?
Well, we're bending. It's not just that we're not doing anything. We're bending over. The whole world is bending over for them and saying, "Do it to me." It's not.
On that note, Norm, stop.
But it's a fact. It is a fact. It is a fact. Because Clinton has a single-faceted policy, which is just trade, nothing else.
But also, do you know what percentage of our exports goes to China? Just 2%. So this is a big myth that somehow exports. Yes, the only 2%. That's not much. And on top of it, please explain to me why we don't give most favored nation status to Cuba, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, but we give it to China. It doesn't make any sense.
Because they got money. Cuba,
it's bucks.
Just like what about Saudi Arabia? They have human rights violations there, but they have oil. We don't even hear a peep out of that.
Well, that's where it's uneven. The policy is clearly uneven. And, I mean, you'd think that someone should come out and say this is what it is.
But what I find amusing is that no one knows. If people approve and say, Tiananmen Square, that's all right. But they don't know how many people got killed. They say, it's all right, might have killed a few. But no one, even Kissinger, brain that he is, doesn't know how many people got killed, but saying, it's okay. Lee Kuan Yew of Singapore, they said, it's okay, he had to disperse the students. No one knows how many got killed.
Well, how many, Mr. Expert?
Well, I don't know. That's the whole point. If I knew.
I'll tell you why nobody knows, because people forget a very important thing. The Chinese are a lot smarter than us. So it's hard to criticize. But some things we excel at that they don't.
One thing they
excel at. I've never seen a Chinese guy in a porno. You know what I mean?
I got to take a break. We'll be right back.
I was on Politically Incorrect a couple of times, and fuck, man, you have to have an opinion about every goddamn thing on that show. So,
or you can just do a little homework and write some jokes.
Yeah, but sometimes I remember at the break, like Scott Carter go, enough with the jokes. Yeah. But I'll never forget it. Like but I'm very unlearned, and so before the show, Scott came in, who was the
producer. Yeah, he's been on the show. Yeah.
So he said, "What do you think about China and Taiwan?" And seriously, I only know those as words, you know. So I was like, I don't know anything. Like, can't I have another subject? So, anyways, then we get out because he goes because Bill believes this. I mean, anyways, when we get out, we're introducing the guy beside me, the smart guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a book on China and Taiwan.
Right.
So fucking Bill Maher, he starts with me. He goes like, what was it, China and Taiwan? I go, I don't know. Fucking ask this guy. What do I know? I'm a nightclub comic. What? Like, that's what made me laugh with that show. Everyone's opinion's equal.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like a nightclub comic and an expert. And then another thing I always found funny about that show is the comedians try to be very serious, and then the serious guys are trying to get jokes.
Yeah.
So it's like...
it's not always our shining moment.
I do like Bill, though.
No, Bill's great at what he does.
Yeah.
Like he started out a straight up joke dude, and he knows his shit. And it's pretty amazing.
You know what's funny about him? I don't know if I should say this or not, but I mean he's probably aware of it. When he does his monologue, have you noticed when he does his monologue, he does Johnny Carson?
No, yeah, no, definitely. He definitely
must
models
be aware
himself.
of it.
I think that's been his style for a long time. He definitely takes the posture.
But I find it very funny because, you know, he's got the posture and the timing and everything. And he's like, and then she came in his face, you know, but it's like crazy words come out.
Hey, Carson would have loved to have done that.
Yeah, he probably would have. I would have got a thrill from listening to Johnny Carson because I haven't heard the guy in so long. And I love Johnny Carson. You love Johnny Carson.
Sure.
You know? And so on that tape, they kept saying Johnny Carson on the 911 tape, and I thought it'd be him going like, you know, I feel there's a yak on my chest, you know, or something like
that. A spider monkey just peed on me. Can we get the paramedics here?
But
Call me to say goodnight. Kiss me once or twice. I'll never let go of you. Fold me into your arms. Stay with me till
let's talk about the military a little, because an important ruling came down last week from federal judge Shira Scheindlin, who said that they could now buy at the PX on the base dirty magazine, if you will. Big military support here. Yeah. It's a big military state.
Some deprived military personnel, we can see.
She also included videos in the ruling saying they were also protected by free speech, although the plots were kind of thin. Anyway, it was called the act that she overturned was called the Military Honor and Decency Act, which for years had banned the selling of this kind of material because they said in that act that they thought it would encourage sexual harassment. When now some people are saying maybe the opposite is true. A quick session with the pet of the month, and maybe that soldier is...
Yeah. You get sleepy. Don't you get sleepy?
What do you mean?
You don't want to rape somebody when you're sleepy.
Why are you sleepy?
Well, after you watch the porno. Listen, I like...
Norm, you have a strange metabolism.
Maybe it's those B12 shots you got.
Right. No,
You're in high school.
I like porno as much as the next guy, you know? And I probably like it... I probably like it 100 times as much as the next guy. But although, you know, I have been watching... this is amazing, because porno is my favorite kind of movie to watch. And yet... I've seen some pornos lately that my buddies have shown me. Have you seen these ones with all male casts? Gay pornos, they're called. These things are horrible. And there's thousands of them. They make thousands of them. They have not made one good one. And I'll tell you what the problem with it is. Quite seriously.
Yes, sir.
Quite seriously, the problem with these gay pornos and every one guys having sex with each other. Who the hell wants to see that? You know?
Maybe you're shopping in the wrong section of the store.
This is not for me.
I wonder if they can't have those in the military base then.
But
don't ask, don't tell, don't watch.
Right. That's an interesting question. I don't know if this ruling includes gay material on the base. Do you know?
Well, you know, it's really ironic at a time when they're trying to sensitize the soldiers. They're sending them to training on how to treat women with respect, and now they're stocking the PXs with porno magazines. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's a mixed message, wouldn't you say?
Why?
Well, because these magazines degrade women. They do.
And I'll say one thing. No,
Why don't you just stand up for this segment? You know, like in a...
This is a little warning for people. Playgirl magazine has not got any girls in it.
I give up.
No, please, this hunk is done. But I don't see what you say. But they don't all degrade. You don't think Playboy
Well, I don't
degrades
look at
women,
them. Obviously, I don't look at
Well,
them.
then how can you speak
I've
with
read
authority
about
if you
it,
don't look
and
at it?
I have a general idea of what's
Oh,
going on.
come on.
Have
you ever seen Oh, you-
Yes, I have, but I don't. You know, I don't go out of my way to look for them. No, I don't.
Well, Norm has some material in
Yes,
his,
I'll ask
dressing
Norm
room.
next time. I'll call him and
He's got
see what he
thousands of
thinks.
videos.
But,
But they're all male. You might enjoy that.
no.
I also loved that I found out that he died after he died. Because to me, show business, we're here for you. You're not here for us. Now, I'm not judging anybody, but there are people who, you know, whatever they're going through, they share it with the audience. Sometimes the audience loves that. I've never been in that camp. I'm not here to burden you. I'm here to lighten your burden. So the fact that Norm, I didn't know about this, nobody knew about this, good one, Norm.